All right, 40 eastbound at Fessler's Lane. Police reporting a crash. Also, the East Loop going eastbound got a crash right before Shelby Avenue. I'm Ken Weaver.
Hello, kids. Welcome in, one and all. It is the Matt Murphy Radio Show, underway for another day and another week. We're happy to have you with us on this Monday, December 8, 2025. You probably know all of that by now. It's just after 3 o'clock, 3:06 to be precise, and we hope to thrill you over the course of the next 4 hours with information, education, and a hell of a lot of entertainment. Thank you for your attention to this matter. We are on day 326. Don't make me laugh, Ken. 326 of Donald Trump's 1,460.5 in his second term as president of the United States of America. He continues to absolutely freak the political left out. He was doing so at a press conference. I was listening to a little bit of that earlier today, and it was enjoyable. As always, they're attempting to try to pit Trump against parts of his administration. He's having none of it. He's learned the way that they do things. He did that during the first term, and now during the second term, he's managed to avoid some of those pitfalls. But we shall discuss said same a little bit later on in the show. We welcome you to be a part of the show any way you can. You can tune us in on the FM dial, 99.7 FM, from Alabama to Kentucky and all points in between. We thank you for doing so. You can also find us on a variety of apps or applications, if you will. Like, for example, a few of the examples. I give you the same three examples every time, but there are more. TuneIn, Spotify, and iHeart. Those are three big streaming platforms where you'll find us. Just type in Supertalk 99.7 W. Although, wasn't there trouble, Jackson, with Spotify for a second?
Yeah, some Spotify on their end.
Okay, so it wasn't okay, very good. Well, hopefully that's fixed. Or you could just download the Supertalk app at Supertalk 99.7 WTN and take us wherever you go that way. And then, of course, for you masochists in the listening audience, get my face nice and ready. There's Talk TV, baby. YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, chat. Hey, how much is Talk TV costing these days there, Ken Weaver?
Absolutely nothing, boys. Yes.
And it doesn't cost a dime to like and subscribe and do all of that, and we would appreciate you doing so. There's the voice of Ken Weaver. He's the reason you come to the show, obviously, not me.
Oh, BS.
He's back there in the news closet B, gathering headlines, delivering them twice an hour, and when it breaks, what's going on, Weaver?
Dude, they come to us because we are three of the best-looking dudes in all of Tennessee.
You're dang right.
Yes, sir.
You're dang right. Who's the third one? Oh, Jackson's here. The man with the many nicknames. We call him Action Jackson. Sometimes we call him Reaction Jackson. J. Willie, Y2J, and occasionally when he's pissing me off, we call him Truffle Butter. What's going on, Jackson?
It's a good day in Tennessee.
Is it now?
Yeah, they fired their defensive coordinator. Let's go, Vols.
Let's go, Vols. Let's go, Big Orange. So I got to tell you guys, we'll get into some, look, there's not a lot breaking. There's not a lot going on, and I'm going to be honest with you. I'm working my ass off not to GoldBrick the rest of this year. I'm going to be.
What's that?
GoldBrick, that's what my grandpa always called it. That boy's GoldBricking over there.
He's GoldBricking.
That is, you're lazy. You're being lazy.
Oh, you're loafing.
You're loafing. You're not putting in the effort.
It's the holiday season and it's the loafing season.
I'm giving it a go, baby. I think I can legitimately, y'all tell me if I'm wrong. I think next week is GoldBricking week.
And the week after.
And the week after. Yeah.
The rest of the year.
The rest of the year. From December 15th to January whatever. That is GoldBrick. We'll have a lot of fun, y'all. We'll have some good times, but I don't pretend that we're going to be putting in maximum effort. But this week, I really got to focus in and put in some maximum effort.
I'm not even going to be here the whole week.
What?
Yeah, I'm out Friday.
Where are you going?
Heading up to the mountains.
Oh, I thought Tennessee might have had their bowl game Friday.
Nope.
I'm so sorry.
We're playing here.
I know.
On my birthday.
As predicted by whom?
By you.
By me. As predicted by me. The only better thing would have been they'd have filled damn Nissan Stadium. I mean, I know that they can't do SEC versus SEC, but if they could have.
They'll fill Nissan anyway. It's the Vols.
Oh, the Vols. Yeah, no.
It'll be the fullest Nissan's been all year.
Yeah.
Hey, we got another win. We beat the old Browns.
That's right.
We tried not to,
Miles Garrett. Who cares?
Ken, did you play a highlight today?
No, I didn't, Brother Jackson.
Didn't need that in the 3:30 news.
Okay.
What, a highlight of the Tennessee Vols game?
Titans.
The Titans game? Yeah, we can beat a 3-win team. Yay. We're getting better.
Because their coach refuses to kick an extra point.
We didn't screw ourselves out of losing the first round.
They are currently third overall pick after that win on Sunday.
Oh, man.
So what we need why are we third overall?
Because we have played really good teams.
Oh, because they go by
strength of schedule once your record ties.
So the Giants are ahead of us.
And the Raiders.
Is there hope that they can win some games here?
Not the Raiders.
Okay.
Yeah,
but we'll get.
But a blind squirrel finds it out every once in a while.
Well, and we don't need a quarterback anyway, but that would have been a nice thing for, trade leverage and all that kind of stuff, I suppose. But anyway, back to the original story. And once again, we're trying not to GoldBrick. So y'all are going to give us a call.
Speak for yourself.
615-737-9986. Hit us up on the super text line. Really, any subject you want to talk about, we're fair game. And we will deal with some important issues. Immigration is one of them. Donald Trump's one of them. The Somalian refugee fraud in Minnesota is a story. I've got 2 local stories that we're going to talk about with Courtney Johnston in the 4 o'clock hour. So, we've got stuff to talk about. Don't you fear. But, there was some foosball being played over the weekend.
Football.
And I forget how this happened, but there happened to be a text thread between Jackson Williams, yours truly, Matt Murphy, Cameron Smith, who appears on Wednesdays and often fills in for me when I'm away, and young Mr. Ken Weaver. And I don't know why this thread started, but the thread was there and available to me. And after the Selection Sunday program, in which your beloved Oklahoma Sooners were selected the number 8 seed in the college football playoffs. Congratulations,
Thank
Ken.
you, sir. Thank you.
And my beloved Georgia Bulldogs were selected number 3. Could have been number 2, but whatever.
I think should have been number 2.
Yeah, whatever. We'll be all right. After that fanny whooping that we put on the Crimson Tide, to the point that they started getting worried about being left out. They were not left out. They're number 9. I got a question for you in a second, Weaver, and I think you know what it might be.
Yes, sir.
But so there's Ken on the text, Oklahoma, Cameron on the text, Bama, Matt on the text, Georgia, and Jackson. And I asked Jackson on said text message chain if he wanted me to get him tickets to the Music City Bowl. Mm-hmm. And he said yes, to his credit.
I'd love to go to them. It's on my birthday. It's a perfect.
Heck yeah.
Oh, yeah. Who y'all playing?
Illinois.
Oh, the Fighting Illini.
We're going to open up a can of whoop ass.
Y'all going to be crap out of them. Well, I'm just proud of Tennessee not opting out.
Me too.
Like some thumbsuckers.
Notre Dame.
What are you doing? I know you're sucking your thumb and you're all mad and you think you're special and you're more important than anybody else in college football. But you know what?
Stuck that bottom lip out.
It's not the 1970s and 1980s anymore, Notre Dame, and y'all got to get over it.
It's my understanding that the more reps deeper in the season you can get your team, the better it is for next season.
I think 15 practices.
Yes.
That you'd get. And how about this? How about I understand that it's all money and NIL and all that crap nowadays, but how about these seniors? There are a lot of seniors on the Notre Dame football team that will never play football ever again.
Right.
And they thought, and I understand the disappointment of thinking you had a shot at the college football playoff and thinking you might have a shot to go deep, whatever, but you shouldn't have lost to Miami. I'm sorry. Circumstances just screwed you.
Texas A&M?
Shouldn't have lost to Texas A&M. Well, to take that away from those seniors who thought they had one more, I mean, you can make an argument it's an exhibition game and all of that. I don't know. You're just sucking your thumb and going home and whatever.
And with the way signing day is now, in primarily December, you get your early enrollees get to practice and play. You get them integrated into your system.
So you can
early.
start.
Yeah,
so you get extra.
Tennessee's quarterback will be a part of these 3 weeks of bowl practices. Tennessee's new 5-star quarterback, their new 5-star receiver, their new 5-star offensive lineman, their other 5-star wide receiver.
What?
The other one.
Did they? Hey, excuse me, Jackson. Before you continue, Ken, did they change the rating system on these players? And I'm not aware of it.
No, sir.
Oh, okay. Very
Tennessee's got 2 of the top 10 wide receiver recruits in the nation.
Okay, dokie.
Almost had 3, but Utah offered a kid $1 million more than we were.
And that's tough.
It's tough to
But
match
anyway,
that.
The bottom line is all of those youngsters will be
And they'll be dressed
able to
out.
practice and all of that.
And, they
good.
won't play in the game, but they get practice. They get reps in your system.
Well, and Notre Dame's not the only school opting out. I mean, there's several others, but Notre Dame is the
Others lost a coach.
yeah.
And a lot of players.
Right.
You got the super text pulled up. When Murphy's wondering whether he should repeat a super I mean, can I repeat?
No.
I can't say 40-13.
No.
I can't say that?
No.
Rats. I wish I could see that.
I'll tell you later, Ken.
All right.
Hey, tell him in Q. Tell him in Q. Tell him in Q.
Oh.
I can't say that, I guess.
No, sir.
Yeah, you can't say that on the radio.
Well, I mean, I think that's
None of it's a curse word, but somehow all of it's a curse
sir.
word.
okay.
Can't do it. Don't do it, Brother Murphy. I see you. I see how you're working it around it there because you can't go.
It's just, I mean, I agree with you, 40-13. It's interesting that you would see that happen, considering their faith-based affiliation. Okay, so all that to say, had a great weekend, enjoyed the weekend. Hope everybody else enjoyed the weekend. Jackson.
Yes.
While we're talking about fun and frivolity over the course of the weekend, and I've got a couple of things to say because I had a chance to go to the Grand Ole Opry House. I've been here 4 years. I've been to the Grand Ole Opry when it was at the Ryman. I've been to the Ryman plenty of times. Had not been to the Grand Ole Opry House. And a good friend of the show's who drums over there, a fellow by the name of Kenneth. I don't know if he wants me to tell his last name, but I'm telling his first name. He and his I don't want to tell any particulars because I didn't ask. So I won't talk about Mary. Oh, I said her name. Dadgummit. But they're big listeners to the show, and they invited. He drums. He's a drummer. He's a session drummer at the Grand Ole Opry.
Right.
And
that's not a bad gig.
No, man. He's played with. I mean, Ken. He told me a story about playing with the Beach Boys in the '90s.
Son
He
of a
toured
biscuit
with the
eater.
Beach Boys in the 1990s. Talked about what a weirdo Brian Wilson was. Not our Brian Wilson.
Not the West
Not
Texan.
the Brian Wilson.
Not the Brian Wilson.
The other Brian Wilson.
Yes, sir.
But he did tell me what a weirdo he was. Anyway, he invited us, and we got a chance to go backstage and got a chance to hang out and just saw the backstage area and the dressing area and just how the operation is done. It was fabulous and fascinating, and I just want to thank him for inviting me, inviting Erica, and Mary as well. They were very kind. Got to do that on Saturday
That's
night.
the way to go, Brother Murphy.
And then Sunday saw Ricky Skaggs.
Man, you just had one.
I had a hell of a
great
weekend. And I put an offer in on a house.
All right, Brother Murphy.
Matt Murphy's moving to China.
All right, we're not I don't want to screw this deal. So we're not talking about any specifics yet, okay?
All right.
I'm looking at you, Jackson. But I told Jackson where I'm moving.
And it is. Ken, it's a plane ride for you.
He said
He might as well live in Miami.
I might as well have moved to Iraq. It won't be so. I mean, it's out there. It's out there. I mean, it's a little crazy what we're doing, but
Hey, that's all right, man.
but you know what? I'm a little crazy.
Matt Murphy
so.
forgot to click the indoor plumbing option on Zillow.
It's some good property. That's a great. Hey, I showed you the picture. That's one of the finest backyard peeing decks you'll ever find in your life.
Oh,
I mean,
God,
would you not
no,
agree?
you won't be able to do it in the house. I hear the internet's supposed to get there in like 20, 30 years. If you're not senile by then, you'll be great.
These are the jokes when I won't let you give the particulars. I can't wait for them when you do. That'd be good.
I'm telling you, man, you get off the beaten path in Tennessee, you're hard-pressed to beat it.
Dude, it is.
This state is beautiful.
This state, I am so blessed to be here. This is everything I ever wanted from a topographical standpoint, from just a land. I mean, this is everything I ever wanted.
Excellent, Brother
in
Murphy.
A place.
I hope you get it, man.
Well, I'm not even talking about the house. I'm talking about the state. I'm talking about living here in the state.
Yeah.
The rolling hills, and you know what? You want to go to a concert, you want to go to a show, you want to go have a cold beer for $14 or whatever it is down there. Nashville itself has everything it could possibly offer you, right? But go 30, 40 minutes in any direction, and you are in the middle of some of the greatest country on God's green earth. Mm-hmm. That's what it's all about. All that to say this, Jackson. I have to be punished later because I'm not watching Bad Santa until tonight. And I
had to sit through Fred Claus.
So we do the Matt Murphy movie mayhem on Friday, where Jackson assigns me a movie and I assign Jackson a movie, and we'll watch the movies. And we're doing Christmas-themed movies for the next several weeks. And I assigned him Fred Claus because he said he liked Vince Vaughn. You actually begged for Fred Claus.
I didn't think it through.
You said, I love Vince Vaughn, and you hated it. That said, I'd not seen Bad Santa. I wanted Bad Santa. Love Billy Bob Thornton. I've heard about it. Love everything about it. Mm-hmm. And last night, I'm just going to admit this to y'all. We got home from the Skaggs show, and let the dogs out and did all that. And I sat down and I told her, I said, I have to watch this movie, Bad Santa. And she said, well, you better get to it because it's 11:30 or whatever it was. I mean, it was that late. And I turned on the television and I looked up on my phone. This is all true, Jackson. I know it makes no difference because it's just an excuse. I looked up on my phone where Bad Santa is. It's on Max. I said, okay, I have a subscription to Max. All good so far. And I turned on the television, and the SEC championship game was just coming on the SEC network on replay.
And you watched it again?
I watched it again.
You're a sick man.
Wouldn't you? Tell me you wouldn't have done the same thing in my place, Jackson.
I would have.
It's an excuse, yes, but I think it's a pretty good one.
Ken, you know what I think Murphy's going to have to do?
What's that, Brother Jackson?
Watch Jack and Jill again.
No. I'll watch Bad Santa in a night. The bad punishment doesn't come until if you haven't done it by Wednesday. We established that rule early on.
That week we both forgot to watch our movies.
Yes, correct.
Quote unquote forgot.
2976 says Bad Santa's a very bad movie. Don't waste your time. I have to.
Yeah, Jackson says he's got to watch it.
A great movie. It is a holiday classic.
Jackson says I have to watch it. That's the way that goes. Yes, I'm moving out to the country. You know what we should do before we tell people where I'm moving? We should do guesses.
I got a guess.
No, you don't count because you. Well, but I don't want to screw. We can't say a thing about it because I don't want to screw it up. I don't want to give it bad karma. I don't want to give it bad mojo.
Yeah, he's moving to Knoxville.
I'm not moving to Knoxville.
Might as well.
It would not be much further of a drive, but I'm not moving to Knoxville. You know what? One of these days, I'm going to remember when Brian Wilson of The Drive. Brian Wilson moved out to Watertown. We've all been out.
Yes.
Jackson, I don't think you've been out there to his place, but you know where Watertown is.
Yeah, far.
And we're like, man, this is out there.
Yeah.
I'm going to be further out than that.
Matt's going back to Birmingham.
In a different direction. But good Lord.
Dang, Brother Murphy. What are you moving to Putnam County?
Might as well.
There's some basically correct guesses on the super text line. There's some basic, but it is.
I got a big old cross out there.
Oh yeah, that's all. What I don't know specifically what cross you're referring to, but let me tell you, it's. No, I'm not moving to Tim's Ford Lake.
That'd be something.
Get it, Tim's Ford. I know I see what y'all did there. Tim's Ford Lake. Yeah, I get it. Tim Ford's Lake. Yeah. I thought the dude's name was Tim Ford. I don't know what to tell you. I'm never going to.
It was possessive.
I thought it was his lake, so they named it after him.
Right.
I didn't know it was the Tim's family. Never mind. All right, gold bricking. That's what we're doing. We got things to do. Liberals are now actively arguing against the democratic process when it comes to the issue of immigration. That's where we will start today. It is 25 after the hour. We'll do it next on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Friends, you might remember a couple of years ago, it's not even a couple of years ago, it's last year, I guess, I had the opportunity to go up in an aircraft and tour the beautiful, beautiful metro area of Nashville, Tennessee. And I was able to do that through Tennessee Flight Training. If you're looking for this perfect Christmas gift for the adventurer in your life, what about an introductory flight experience from Tennessee Flight Training? I have done this, and let me tell you something. If you have any dreams of flying, or someone special in your life dreams of becoming a pilot and they're looking to fulfill, or maybe they're just looking to fulfill a bucket list item, Tennessee Flight Training will fulfill their aviation dreams. You can meet and fly with a certified instructor from any of their 3 Middle Tennessee locations: Nashville B&A, Murray County Regional, or Shelbyville Municipal Airport. You step inside the aircraft, you learn to fly on your very first day. I flew an airplane the first time I went up in a small aircraft like that. The aviation industry is also facing a pilot shortage. And in all seriousness, folks, whether it's to make the Christmas season a memory by going up on a flight, it's something that you've always wanted to do, or if you're seriously thinking about this, you're never too old or too young to learn to fly. Now, my copy says you're never too old or too young to learn to flay. And I assume that's correct, too, but I think we're thinking of flying. Take advantage of this introductory flight experience. Friends, go to tnflighttraining.com. That's tnflighttraining.com. You'll save $100 when you purchase an introductory flight experience before December 24th. It is the Matt Murphy special at Tennessee Flight Training. Here is the number, 615-366-9192. Easy to remember, 366-9192. The skies are calling.
3:30 on the dot. I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Full forecast and traffic in 5 minutes. President Trump just announced a bailout package for U.S. farmers. He says is coming from the pot of money the U.S. government collected through tariffs.
So we're going to use that money to provide $12 billion in economic assistance to American farmers. $12 billion is a lot of money.
U.S. Secretary of Agriculture Brooke Gale Rollins.
Today, we are going to be effectuating an $11 billion bridge payment to our farmers. The money will move by February 28th of 2026.
Yeah, so $11 billion, the lion's share goes to row crop farmers. Then $1 billion of what's left over goes to other type of farmers. Tennessee is roughly 69,000 farms, according to USDA data. Tennessee Department of Health issuing a health advisory for Williamson and Murray counties. Officials report an increase in histoplasmosis. It's a fungal infection linked to soil that has bird or bat droppings in it. Construction and other activities that churn up the dirt apparently make it more prevalent. Symptoms include fever, cough, chest pain, and shortness of breath. Residents urged to seek medical care if they experience these signs. And Murfreesboro police say a nurse has been arrested for allegedly sexually assaulting a patient at Ascension St. Thomas Rutherford Hospital. Investigators report 25-year-old Tyler Butcher faces charges including sexual battery, kidnapping, and indecent exposure. He was taken into custody Friday night, booked into the Rutherford County Adult Detention Center. And cases of the flu are minimal, according to the latest state health department influenza weekly report, but they've caused some alarm in London, where a new strain of the virus circulating, and it's a strain that is not covered by the current shot. Here in the U.S., cases on the rise in New York City, and here's a doctor from there.
Right now, it's very early, and I would have to say that I use that experience kind of as a barometer of how I navigate in this city. Right now, we're seeing early illness of flu-like symptoms, sometimes coughs, sneezes, fevers, headaches, but I would have to say we are definitely not at the height.
Health experts say people, especially children and older Americans, should still get the flu shot. At least some health experts say that because they say it offers some protection against this current flu strain. That's the latest news. Traffic and weather next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News. Glencliff, police reporting a crash 24 eastbound just past Briley Parkway South. Then we got a crash 40 eastbound at Fessler's Lane. Midtown got some sewer work. Only one lane open if you're on 21st Avenue southbound there at Medical Center. I'm Ken Weaver. An isolated rain shower. Wednesday, we're in the 50s, back in the 40s.
It is ground zero time when it comes to your health insurance for 2026, right, friends? Because the year will be here before you know it, and it cranks up all new premiums. It cranks up new deductibles, and a lot of those deductibles, sadly, are going sky high. You need to call Shane Ring. Cover Nash has you, well, covered. They cover all of Nashville and Middle Tennessee with expert advice, expert opinion. And Shane, he doesn't sell you anything. He finds the right product for you, and he can cover the entire marketplace. In other words, he doesn't work for any insurance companies. He works for you, and that's what it's all about, keeping your cost low. In some cases, cutting costs by 40 to 60%. You keep your doctor, keep your hospital, and skip the government red tape. So if you're uninsured, self-employed, or you're just tired of paying too much, call Shane Ring and cover Cover Nash, 615-465-0023, 615-465-0023, or CoverNash.com. Tell them Matt Murphy sent you to Cover Nash, where healthcare is managed by you, not by the government. Hey, friends, it's Matt Murphy. You know, if you want a toy for yourself, that loved one in your life that deserves something big and sparkly, Genesis Diamonds really shines this time of year. The cases are jam-packed with the best gifts, highest quality at the guaranteed best value prices around. And this time of year, pick any item and spread your payments over 60 months, 5 years at zero interest. You heard me correctly, on approved credit, obviously. Do the math. Everything's affordable. Genesis Diamonds has non-commissioned experts that are ready to help you find the headliner gift from a few $100s to a few $100,000, depending on your budget, whatever it might be. They've got something for the loved one in your life that deserves something sparkly and dazzling. And they've got hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of items at both stores, Green Hills and Cool Springs. Genesis Diamonds, the place for that spectacular holiday gift. Stop by, ask about the incredible holiday specials, up to 50% off in their holiday vault. Green Hills and Cool Springs. Tell them Matt Murphy sent you to the one and only Genesis Diamonds. Jackson said he's bringing a toy tomorrow. I don't know that I believe you. I want you to take a picture because you're in early, right?
I am. I'll be with Nashville's Morning News with Dan Mandis.
Good for you, Jackson. What about that, Ken? Jackson getting up early. Getting up early to help old Mandis out.
Yes, sir.
And then
don't forget your hairdryer.
What's up?
Don't forget your hairdryer.
Huh?
When Dan's out and about during the wintertime, he asks his producers to bring a hairdryer so that you can blow hot air on his head so his head doesn't get cold. I think that I have that right.
I will bring a hairdryer.
I think I have that right. I think that's right.
But
because his head will get cold.
I will be with Dan, and then I'm gonna come back here and take a nap. And then I'm gonna be with Chad Benson, and then I'm hanging out with you.
I love it. You're keeping us grounded and making sure that we're on the YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and Twitch and Rumble.
I will be delusional by the 6 o'clock hour.
That's
what I say can and will not be held against me.
That'll be fun. But Jackson during the break asked me if I was bringing a toy. I said, "Well, I am the gift. I steal things. I don't bring things. I steal bicycles at these events." As I was accused of doing. I just took a bicycle and rode around Nissan Stadium's concourse. That's all I did.
You weren't stealing.
No, I was borrowing for a second. Yeah, I mean, come on. It's the holidays. It was fun, though. Rocco wants to know, why would Jackson bring a toy when he's already a tool? Hey-oh! Yeah! Zinger! A lot of people guessing where I'm moving. And I'm not moving anywhere yet. This is all. I'm not counting any chickens before said chickens hatch, or any other cliche about building up your expectations before things come to fruition. But I'm very excited about it. The possibilities are wonderful. All right, so it's interesting where we've gotten to in such a short period of time, and I want to talk to you for a moment, monologue for a moment on this point. This is very important. The Democrats do not, based not on their words but actions, believe in the rule of law. And it has been becoming increasingly evident over the Trump administration's second term, since he was sworn into office this past January, that this is the case. Our, and I use this term loosely, liberal friends would have you believe, and publicly they will say these things, that, well, we believe in border security, we just believe in enforcing it differently. We believe in election security, we just believe in enforcing it differently. We believe in the Second Amendment, we just believe in enforcing it differently. We believe in the issue of free speech and the First Amendment, generally speaking. We simply believe in enforcing it differently. They do not believe in these things. And I don't know how many times they have to tell us that they don't through their actions before we believe them. They believe in free speech until I say something that offends them. And then suddenly they want to clamp down on the issue of free speech through hate speech legislation or hate crime, making hate speech a hate crime, or trying to cancel people through cancel culture. They claim to believe in the Second Amendment until a gangbanger shoots up a restaurant or someplace, and then suddenly they want to hamper the ability that you and I, law-abiding citizens, have to protect ourselves through the Second Amendment of the Constitution of the United States. And by the way, is there any question that were there no Second Amendment that the Democrats would have already completely eroded our gun ownership rights? Have you ever thought about that? What life would be like? What would life be like? You know, I didn't think about this until just this moment. I'm calling an audible on this monologue. The Founding Fathers debated the Bill of Rights. And largely, the debate was not over whether or not human beings had these rights, but whether or not we had to expressly write them down, because everyone knows that we have these rights. Right? Part of the central, part of the bedrock of the debate about the Bill of Rights and whether or not its inclusion was necessary so early on in the nation's founding was the idea that everyone knows you have the right to defend yourself with a firearm. Everyone knows that you have the right to freely criticize your government without fear of reprisal. Everyone knows that we're not quartering any damn troops in your house without your permission. Everyone knows that you have a right to a speedy and fair trial. And on down the road. But very smart people, our founding fathers recognized, look, y'all, if we don't write this crap down, somewhere down the road, some crazy person by the name of Jasmine Crockett's going to come along and not really understand what the hell's going on. Somewhere down the road, they're going to let women vote. And then all hell's going to break loose. I'm kidding. Just send them to jackson.williams@cumulus.com. Don't send them to me.
Not my email.
Don't send them to me. No, they recognize that at some point and somewhere down the road that maybe the conclusions that we draw about human beings and their rights that are sacrosanct and given to them by God, not to be interfered with by government, that at some point maybe people won't recognize it. They won't fundamentally understand the importance of keeping those rights and the responsibilities that come with them, the responsibilities that come with the Second Amendment, the responsibilities that come with your right to speak freely and openly about issues of importance in this country and in our communities. These rights do not come without a level of responsibility. And the way the free market operates, y'all, cancel culture was all about third parties demanding that people get fired, right? Cancel culture was all about, you know what? I don't have anything to do with Cumulus and their relationship with Matt Murphy and the audience, but the audience seems to love Matt Murphy, and Cumulus seems to love Matt Murphy, and the community seems to love Matt Murphy. I don't know why they would, but I heard something that offends me, and so despite all of those feelings about all of that, I'm going to demand that they get fired, and I'm going to insist that I get a legion of people that have never listened to his show to begin with to assist me in the aid of his firing. That's cancel culture. That's garbage. But the market of open and free ideas dictates that if you gather a crowd, you succeed. If you don't, you don't. That's free and fair play. That's good. That's competition. And that's without the government sticking its thumb on the scale. Founding fathers understood all of these things without having any inkling as to where this country was going. Could not have possibly imagined the things that we have in front of us now. But those bedrock principles remain. And they remain as important as ever. But it occurs to me that while Republicans have begun fighting amongst themselves, I want y'all to rally to this cause today, rally to this moment today. While Republicans and conservatives and libertarians are fighting amongst themselves and talking, let me just be honest, about stupid crap, like conspiracies involving Charlie Kirk and conspiracies involving Israel and just other garbage conspiracy nonsense online to gain clout. While we ought to be coalescing and coming together and recognizing that there is a substantial number of people, there are a substantial number of voting age people in the United States of America that do not believe in the basic principles of this country anymore. And they will change it if they can, if we let them. I don't believe it's a majority. I don't think it's far from it. But we have lost sight of the prize. We have lost sight of the moment by nitpicking over minuscule issues or issues created solely for the purpose of benefiting individuals that create them. I am not here to tell you that some of these things aren't important to dissect. I am not here to tell you that some of these things that we talk about, these seemingly smaller issues, are not emblematic of a bigger problem. But I am here to tell you that when we fight amongst ourselves, and once again, this is not to say that we ought not to have disagreement and have robust debate, but that doesn't make us the enemy. When we have, is it 40% of the population that doesn't really believe in free speech anymore? 40% of the population would have me canceled like that. Like that. They would do it if they could. You understand that a significant portion of the United States of America, it's not a majority, but it's a lot of people, would say, well, Matt Murphy or Chris Hand or Dan Mandis or Chad, they're hate speech. And they need to be removed from the public airwaves. Or, some people that I can't stand this Nick Fuentes guy, right? I don't talk about him because he matters not one scintilla of a bit in my world. But I would defend his right to exist and to say what he has to say, as disgusting as I might occasionally think it might be. I'm not here to have a discussion about him. I'm using him as an example. Do y'all understand the overall point here? That there are factions of our country that want to erode the basic bedrock, and all of us will topple of that. While we're sitting on this mountain of freedom, while we sit atop a mountain of liberty constructed by those that came before us, our fathers and our grandfathers and our forefathers, while we sit upon that mountain of freedom and we nitpick about this issue or that issue, and once again, I'm not against it, but I'm stressing this to make the point. While we sit atop that mountain and we talk about whether it's best strategy to do this under the Trump administration or that under the Trump administration, or whether or not they're moving fast enough on this issue or that issue, while we're doing that, these socialists, these oftentimes foreign actors that have come into the United States of America, these that want to fight, they are chipping away at the mountain itself. They're going to topple the whole, and all of us are coming down then. All of us are coming down then. And these smaller arguments that we're having with one another about how far we go, and, I'll give you a good example. I'll give you a great example of what I'm talking about. When I first got to the state of Tennessee, I became friends with John Harris and the Tennessee Firearms Association. I'm just going to use him as an example. And I think John and I would agree on 98% of just about everything. But I did not feel as if John was playing fair on an issue, and I'm not trying to relitigate it. The point is that we got sideways, and boy, John just cut me off, man. Like I'm some sort of enemy of Second Amendment, which I'm not. And now I don't consider John Harris to be the enemy, but he considers me to be the enemy. And I'm like, dude, if I'm your enemy, we are so effed, you have no concept of how effed we are. If I'm your enemy, if I'm the enemy. But I'm not the enemy. We're sitting on top of that mountain. I'm just using this as an example. We're sitting on top of that mountain, John and I, and we're nitpicking over small issues and maybe involving Second Amendment or current government or whether they're Republican enough or whether they're conservative or whatever we're doing. And while we're doing that, way down at the base of that mountain of freedom that I'm describing to you, man, those socialists are just beating the hell out of that mountain. And they're chipping it away. And they're going to topple it if we let them. We better have a coming together around here. Now, why am I saying all of this? Why am I saying any of this? Because liberals are now actively arguing against the law. Openly. Leftists are arguing against the law as it was passed by Congress and signed by previous presidents and presented before judges to confirm its constitutionality. They're arguing against it. And they're telling people to ignore it. And if we do not have the fundamental basic foundation of law, we descend into chaos, which is exactly what they want. Because when they have chaos, they get the upper hand, they get the high ground, and they can say, you see, we told you this crap wasn't working. Now let's try it our way. And our way is socialism, which is always fascism. I love y'all, but we have an opportunity to go against the tide of history in 2026. And to hold on to the Congress and to demand more of those folks. But the only way that we can advance the ball down the field is to hold the ground that we have right now. And if we don't come together and recognize that just because I might disagree with you on one or two issues, we are not the enemy, that's the problem. And I see it. I see it as clear as I can see to the bottom of an unmuddied lake. I see it. It is as clear as a summer day in Tennessee. It's 54 after the hour. Rant over. I'll put my rant pants up now. Courtney Johnston's coming up next on Super Talk. Hello, friends. My name is Matt Murphy, and I'm talking about my buddies at the Glock store. You know, last weekend, they had a pretty cool deal. And if you missed it, you missed Tactical Santa. You know, Tactical Santa was there last weekend. Family photo with Tactical Santa. You know what I'm saying? Tactical Santa's got all the gear that you would expect Tactical Santa to have. And if you missed it, $25. Got you a professional family portrait with Glock Store's in-house photographer, and, you know, people welcomed pets in. It's the most unique holiday photo memory ever at the Glock Store. It was happening last weekend. And, you know, and if you missed it, you know what? You can do it again because it's happening this weekend too. How about that? Tactical Santa is back this weekend at the Glock Store. That's right. The most unique holiday photo memory will be yours at Tactical Santa. And of course, they've got props available, and they're encouraged, and they are available to you if you don't have any yourself. Listen, while you're there, shop around because they've got the best accessories going. They got the best ammo going. They got the best, no, they got magazines. They got anything and everything for a Glock, anything and everything for a gun, really. But if you call yourself the Glock store, you got more Glocks in stock than anyone else, and they've got a wide variety of customized Glocks available for you. Go to GlockStore.com or Shoot270.com and go this weekend for Tactical Santa. It's happening on the 12th and the 13th at the one and only Glock Store. Hey, folks, it's Matt Murphy, and, for some of us, it's happening. Your hair thinning, crown disappearing, maybe hair loss has you feeling like you're losing your identity. Well, I've got good news. It's an incredible and simple one-day treatment that starts growing your own natural hair the very next day, and it's guaranteed to grow for life. It's the Advanced FUE from Advanced Hair. We've seen the pills and the lotions that come with monthly subscriptions. Nobody's knocking that, but it only helps you retain what you have. It never helps you regrow the hair you've completely lost. From Advanced Hair's state-of-the-art facilities to their world-class doctors, it's not maybe your hair will regrow. It's guaranteed your hair will regrow. You decide how much, how thick, and where. It's why Advanced Hair has changed tens of thousands of lives, and I recommend them to everyone. No one in Nashville can offer anything like the Advanced FUE system. Your free consultation, call 629-348-HAIR, 629-348-HAIR. If you qualify, you get $250 off and 253 hair grafts. Redefine your hairline with the team that's redefining hair restoration. It's Advanced Hair, advancedhair.com.
Four o'clock on the dot. I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Got the full forecast and traffic in 5 minutes. And President Trump today announcing an aid package for American farmers. U.S. Secretary of Agriculture Brooke L. Rollins there at the press conference.
Today, we are going to be effectuating an $11 billion bridge payment to our farmers. The money will move by February 28th of 2026.
So $11 billion goes to all row crop producers like soybean and corn farmers, another $1 billion to other farmers. Applications are open right now. Health officials are warning Williamson and Murray County residents about a rise in histoplasmosis cases. The illness is caused by inhaling fungal spores, often during construction or land clearing. It can lead to serious lung infections, especially in those with weakened immune systems. Doctors recommend prompt testing for anyone with unexplained respiratory symptoms. And a Murfreesboro nurse is behind bars after police say he assaulted a patient while on duty. 25-year-old Tyler Butcher was arrested Friday and charged with sexual battery, kidnapping, and other offenses. The incident reportedly happened at Ascension St. Thomas Rutherford Hospital. Butcher was in custody on a $14,000 bond, has a court appearance set for February. U.S. Supreme Court was busy today. ABC News national correspondent Stephen Portnoy with more from Washington.
The case has the administration asking the court to overturn a 90-year-old ruling that a president can't fire a member of the Federal Trade Commission without cause. That 1935 case was called Humphrey's Executor, and Chief Justice John Roberts says it's been weakened by more recent decisions.
Humphrey's Executor is just a dried husk of whatever people used to think it was.
The court's conservative majority seemed inclined to give Trump a win, but the liberals warned of the consequences. Justice Elena Kagan.
The president is going to have massive, unchecked, uncontrolled power.
Stephen Portnoy, ABC News, Washington.
Now there's a hostile takeover bid impacting your entertainment choices. Paramount now wants Warner Brothers, taking on Netflix for it. Here's Alex Stone.
In quite the Hollywood bidding war, Paramount is saying not so fast to Netflix's almost $28 a share deal to buy Warner Brothers, saying it will do $30 a share, but its deal would also include HBO Max, CNN, and film production that Netflix would not take in its offer. Paramount CEO David Ellison saying his company never got a response to its offer last week. They claim they have the superior deal and should win Warner Brothers. Today, Warner Brothers board saying it has a new offer from Paramount, but it's still recommending shareholders approve the Netflix deal. Alex Stone, ABC News, Los Angeles.
That's the latest news, traffic, and weather next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News. Glen Cliff, police still reporting that crash 24 eastbound past Briley Parkway South. And look for 40 eastbound just past the downtown split. That's at exit 211. A crash in Dixon County. This is blocking the left lane, I should say. 40 westbound just past I-840. I'm Ken Weaver.
Super Talk 99.7 WTN, just after 4 o'clock. It is the Matt Murphy Radio Show. I was on a toot the last half of the show in the first hour, and thank you. I had my rant pants on, and I appreciate you indulging me, but I think it merits a little rant pants now and then. And I'm going to get back into, after our conversation with our next guest, because I want to focus in on some Middle Tennessee issues, but I'm getting back into the entire purpose of that setup about the Mountain of Freedom and how leftists are trying to chip away at the base of freedom. So all of these arguments we're having about more nitpicky type things aren't going to matter if they topple the Mountain of Freedom and they begin eroding some of these basic bedrock principles that we know and love. Principles like the First Amendment, principles like the Second Amendment, principles like our basic ability to prevent illegal people from coming into this country and taking it over. And that was the genesis of the rant, is where they are on illegal immigration, because they've moved in 10 months from, no, of course we believe in this, and yes, we need to talk about it, to, no, we don't believe in it, and no, we don't want to talk about it. And if you get here, you get to stay here, no matter who you are. The state of Illinois is about to release 1,800 convicts into their state, convicted criminals into their state, as opposed to turning them over to ICE, because they just don't want to. So more on that coming up in just a few moments. But our next guest to the program is a good friend of the show, and the first thing she said to me when she walked into the door was, "Are you in a bad mood?" And I was like, "No, I just had a great hour. What are you talking about?" She goes, "I can just hear you yelling through the walls." Courtney Johnston is with us. She's with the Metro Nashville City Council, and it's always a pleasure having you in. How are you?
Glad to be here. I'm good.
I'll calm down.
Thank you. Good.
We need
calm Matt.
I'm very excited. Well, I mean, and part of it is something that I wanted to talk to you about, is that I'm very excitable as to whether or not this is just your basic backlash to Trump actually doing the things that he promised to do. And so there are people freaking out about that, or are we seeing a shift? And the 7th District was, I mean, that's a big question. You and I were talking about it on election night, whether or not this is something that's real in our community, or if this is just a moment in time.
I think it's real. I mean, and to me, it's not even Republican Democrat anymore. We're talking about massive fringe socialists. The Democratic Socialists of America are growing in size and in number, and it's alarming. To me, it just doesn't make any sense when you look at anywhere else in the world that socialism is in play. It's not successful, not even close. So I don't understand why we would have even a conversation about it, because anybody can look at it and go, yeah, that's not just not good, that's terrible. Mm-hmm. And maybe their argument is, well, we can do it better, but it's not even about the execution of it. It's the basis of the belief that is just inherently wrong. And I think we get caught up talking more about emotions and virtue and all that versus policy. The emotional stuff about it, and it's mean and this, that, and the other. But when you talk about the policy, that's what we're failing to do.
Yeah, I mean, we can have, tough love on the front end and freedom on the back end, or we can have good feelings on the front end and being a slave to government on the back end. I mean, when we're talking about these higher level concepts of, free market, democracy or socialism. That's what you're talking about. Yeah, I mean, and there is some tough love that needs to be involved in telling people, no, you don't get to be on the SNAP benefit program just because you want to be on the SNAP benefit program. The SNAP benefit program should be there for people who absolutely 100% need it. And we need more of that on the front end, in my opinion. And that's a hard, but the issue is that's always for a conservative person or a Republican or whatever, that's always a harder sell.
Yeah. All of those programs they incentivize failure. There's no incentive unless you just truly want to stand on your own 2 feet and you're using it for what it's supposed to be, which is temporary to get on your feet. But when you get to a certain level of income or whatever, you get those benefits taken away. So the incentive is to not get that level of income or whatever that threshold is. And so just inherently those programs are flawed. And there is a lot of abuse as we see and know. Yes.
How is what were your thoughts? Let's get it more specific. What were your thoughts about the 7th congressional district race?
I think the whole thing relies or surrounds the turnout. And there's a lot of people on the far left that are really excited about, we've closed the gap. When you look at the numbers, Democrat turnout was only 35% down, which equated to around 40,000 people. Mm-hmm. Republican turnout was down 50%, which equated to about 100,000 people. And so if you equalize that and everybody turned out, I think we would have seen a different percentage and not necessarily that gap that they're excited about. What's frustrating about that is it shows a level of apathy, but it also shows, I was watching social media coming up to that. People have no idea what district they're in. They have no idea who their representatives are on any level. There's a lot of ignorance, and that's not ignorance is just they don't know.
Right.
And that's what we should really be, I think, focusing in on. Every conversation that I've ever had with anyone, when you talk about the issues and the policies, most of the time, regardless of whatever jersey they put on politically, we're typically within a margin of error there of agreeing.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's just about engaging those folks and getting people interested and knowledgeable about what district they're in, who's representing them, what the issues are of the, that we're dealing with, so that they can have a voice and an educated voice.
It's funny you bring this up because I didn't know how to feel about it when I had a lot of different people approach me leading up to the election. And I just had someone last night who is from over in Knoxville, and she was in town because one of her sons was playing on the Ricky Skaggs show at the Fisher Center. And so we got a chance to say hello to Ricky after the show, blah, blah, blah. And we're standing in one of the areas waiting, and we're just talking to people. And she, overheard me talking to somebody that knew what I did. And so we got to talking about the Van Epps race. And she was like, oh, yeah. She said, I was so concerned about that. And like she lives like 25 miles outside of Knoxville. She said, I was so concerned about that, I had to call and find out if that was my district because I really wanted to vote for Van Epps if it was. And I appreciate the spirit, and I'm not against it. But at the same time, I'm like, Lord have mercy, right? Because we got to know these things. And I'm glad there's an awareness there. And I'm not knocking this lady, but I got a lot of those messages prior to.
Yeah.
And so while I'm happy that there's kind of a wake-up call, there's a special election, we got some awareness going on, but I'm like, also, you got to know who your folks are, because we're already operating at a deficit. We already operate with an expectation you're not going to get 50% of the people coming out to vote that are eligible.
Right.
And I truly believe that the perception of Nashville, the bubble as a blue place, is based on a belief by the people that aren't so blue in Davidson County that they've already lost the ideological war. And so they just stay home.
Yes, I think that's true.
So what do we do to combat it? Besides run Courtney Johnson as the next mayor of the city of Nashville, but that's neither here nor there. We'll deal with that later.
Just won't stop, will you?
No, I mean, no. I told you how I'm going to help you. I told you, Alexa, I said, Courtney, just say the word and I'll start bashing you incessantly for not being a good enough Republican. And that's going to push you over the edge.
Well, I will say that from my standpoint, when I get phone calls, and I get phone calls and emails from Democrats a lot, more than Republicans actually, expressing extreme concern and frustration around what's happening in Nashville. And obviously, when tax bills came out a month or so ago, that was eye-opening for folks. That how they didn't know that this was coming, I don't know, but it's certainly reality when you open up that tax bill. And so we're going to see. But
Can I interrupt you for a second?
Sure.
Did you find yourself wishing, because I found myself wishing this, we had a conversation on the show, I don't know, a month ago, when some of this started coming down. And I found I'm not here to preach to the choir, because my audience is the choir and they know better than probably most people in the church. But the number of people that came out and said, oh my God, I wish I'd have known about this. And I'm like, we begged for more participation prior to the vote. We begged for people to go down prior to the vote. And with all due respect to the people that were there, and I love you. I love Ben Cunningham, and I love Pamela Furr and AFP, and I love all of those organizations, and I love Jason Weekly. There were not nearly enough people to impact the decision-making prior to the decision-making. And now, after the fact, it's too late.
Yeah. I had people email or called me and said, hey, I just got this in the mail. I didn't approve this. I was like, bless your heart. I'm like, well, I don't know who you voted for, but, that's kind of how you do. I had actually a Democrat friend of mine that was on the council last term call me over the weekend and said, when we did that 34% tax increase in 2020, that was a major overcorrection that should have lasted much longer. We shouldn't have needed to have increased taxes by 27% so soon. What happened? And I said, well, I'll tell you exactly what happened is that instead of looking, it was all from that COVID funding, ARPA, CARES, and mostly from the school's perspective. So I was on that committee that handled how we spent Metro's portion of ARPA and CARES Act, but not the schools. The schools did their own, and they called it ESSER. One-time funding. And I every time we had people come in front of us, I said, we have to make sure that you understand this is one-time funding and you cannot create a funding cliff for yourself. And so creating new programming is not wise because you're not going to have that funding in the next couple of years.
Right.
It needs to be one-time, like asset purchase, things like that. The schools did not do that. They created a lot of programming, nurses in every school,
it has to be
yada,
refunded.
yada. Right. Well, and so they didn't want that programming to stop. And so what was always one-time funding was, oh no, we're going to lose this programming. We can't do this. So now we have built into our budget the sustaining of the funding for what never was supposed to be anything more than one-time funding. And that was the vast majority of that tax increase.
Murphy's Maxim number 467. Government programs never go away without people dying. Does that make sense to you?
Mm-hmm.
Right? Because when a government program happens, it can be temporary, it can be whatever. But if you try to take it away, there's going to be someone on television news telling you how many people are going to die as a result of whatever program it is going away.
Yeah.
And that's how they keep it. That's why government just grows. It never shrinks.
Yeah. Thankfully, from Metro's perspective, we were very diligent in making sure that whatever we spent our money on was either going to be sustainable or was literally, purchasing equipment type stuff, that one-time stuff. And the schools just didn't do it, and we allowed them to just continue doing that. And so the other thing about the schools is that once you give them a certain amount of money, you can't take that away. The next year, you can't reduce funding. It has to be equal to or more than.
The Metro Council and Mayor's Office relationship with the Metro Nashville school system is baffling to me.
Because the only thing there is we are a funding mechanism, and that's it. We have no control over what they spend. I mean, they showed up during the budget process without an approved budget from themselves. It was bizarre.
Well, and for why would you not have some level of a controlling mechanism on the part? I mean, I understand giving the board a certain level of autonomy on curriculum. I mean, there's a lot of aspects of what they do that I wouldn't want the Metro Council involved in. But in terms of growth and spending money and creating programs and who their superintendent is and how much money she can spend on her own private bathroom or whatever it might be, I'm just amazed that I have the mayor sitting here a month ago and he's like, there's nothing I can do about it. I'm like, you're the mayor of the city.
Yeah. When you control the purse strings, what you don't do is give them tens and tens. What was the increase this year? I can't remember, but it was multi-million-dollar increases over last year when we've had enrollment has been flat for at least a decade. And yet their funding has increased exponentially, hundreds of millions of dollars, almost doubling, without true increases in outcomes, right? We're graduating more people. Yeah, but when 80% of those people aren't ready to graduate, is that really something that we should be celebrating? Is that really something we should be increasing funding to invest more into that type of outcome? It's like, no. So we do have, that's our only way of saying, hey, listen, we don't agree with what you're doing, so we're not going to give you this much more money.
When we return, we will ask Courtney Johnston a couple of $64,000 questions. That's a dated reference that you don't understand, Jackson, but some in the listening audience do. So one of them will involve funding mechanisms for a couple of programs that I think we appreciate. A couple of questions will involve whether or not we're going to see certain programs that everyone almost universally approves of happen anytime soon. We call this on the agenda item old business, and we'll cover some old business in a moment with Courtney Johnston. Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Look at friends. I am looking for a house, and I've made it known. I told you guys that I put in an offer on my house. Well, I could not have done any of these things without my friends at Accurate Mortgage. Because, I've talked about Accurate for a long time. I appreciate the way that Accurate does their business, and I love the fact that they're a phone call away. They're local to our community. Mike and his team at Accurate are so good at what they do. And Accurate, I have to tell you that they're NMLS 129-944, rates and terms subject to change, equal housing lender. I want to get that in there. But here's the bottom line. There was only one company that I wanted to deal with, and it's Accurate Mortgage. Now, mortgage rates have come down a little bit recently, so this is a honey spot in terms of if you are looking to move, and it's one of the reasons that we're making a plan and we're executing our plan. It's because housing prices are coming down as well as interest rates are coming down, and that's a wonderful place to be because it's become a little more of a buyer's market. You need a trusted local advisor from Accurate Mortgage to help guide you through this crazy market for your home purchase or your refi. Not some Joe Blow off the internet with an anonymous chat box. You might be talking to AI. Who knows? At Accurate Mortgage, you're talking to a human being that's right here in Middle Tennessee, which I absolutely love. And rates might be on par with your current mortgage, but a cash-out refi may be able to save you money every month by getting rid of higher interest rate consumer debts. Ask about these ways to work this so you can get into a new home for you and your family. Whatever your situation, they can help at Accurate Mortgage. Go to AccurateMTG.com today. That's AccurateMTG.com for more information. And go where I go, to Accurate Mortgage. Hello, friends. Matt Murphy for Grace Point Healthcare. Grace Point Healthcare is modern medicine delivered the old-fashioned way. You hear me saying that all the time. Grace Point is the concept is simple with Grace Point. They have the finest doctors around. They're located in Franklin. They're available for anyone within the sound of my voice. You can get appointments today or tomorrow. Oftentimes they can do it the same day if you call early enough. Today they might be telling you tomorrow is the day to come in. But the bottom line is this: you're not waiting weeks on end to see the doctor, especially if you're sick. They find that to be kind of silly that you would call your doctor and your doctor would say, "Oh yeah, that's true. You can come in 2 weeks from now." No. They'll see you. Even new patients. They are a direct pay format. That means that no insurance company gets in the way between you and the service provided by your doctor. But you can enter the Smart Care plan, which gives you a dedicated amount, a monthly payment, $99 for grown-ups, $79 for the youngsters, and you can come as many times as you want throughout the course of the year. There's unlimited access to your doctor's office, and once again, you don't have to wait weeks on end. Ask them about all of these things when you make the call to Grace Point Healthcare that so many others have made. 599-6868, 599-6868. You really can afford exceptional medicine at your convenience.
President Trump announced a $12 billion aid package for American farmers. We've got that story and more for you coming up at 4:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Super Talk 99.7 WTN. I kind of dig that. I'll be playing that in the new homestead.
Do they celebrate Christmas there?
Out in the Tules. Jackson's giving me grief. We're not talking about where I'm moving yet because I don't want to jinx anything. But I made the mistake of telling Jackson where I was moving, and he will not. Jackson, can we get a mic check here? Thank you. He will not be quiet about it anymore. So. He's like, he told me that I basically was moving, to Iraq? Is that what you said?
Yes.
Essentially. Iraq, Miami, same place.
Well, there's a lot of good people. I'm not going to really, say that I know too, but lots of good people where you are possibly moving.
You can't, you know what? It is hard to go wrong in Middle Tennessee. Honestly.
True.
Honestly.
True.
I'm not talking to you, Pegram, but everybody else. It's hard to go wrong.
Pegram's gorgeous.
I think I've tried to find. I waited because I used to pick on a place called Aniana on my radio show. I learned this from the late great Rush Limbaugh. He used to pick on Rio Linda all the time. Aniana was a town in Blunt Springs, and I called it the butthole of Alabama because it was.
Rude.
It was. I was very rude. I would say things like, they don't have any birds flying over Aniana. Do you know why the birds don't fly over Aniana?
Not yet.
Because there's nothing worth poop in Aniana.
Oh, Lord.
But I think I'm going to graduate Aniana.
Where's that want?
Jackson's not worried about me. Jackson's talking to your husband. He's not paying attention. He's GoldBricking.
I am.
On this show today. Yeah, so I think I'm transferring all that fun to Pegram, although I'm a little bit nervous about that.
Why Pegram? Why are you picking on them?
Because they're good people. And that's what I do.
Pegram, pay no mind.
Pay me no mind, Pegram. But you're no Ashland City.
Good grief.
So, with all that said, we're going to talk. I've run out of time. Now we got to get to Ken Weaver, but you'll stick around for another. Yeah. I mean, you don't have holiday festivities to go to.
I have
for a
nothing
long time, right?
better to do, Matt, than sit here and talk to you.
That's the way I like to hear it. It's 4:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
4:30 on the dot. I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Got the full forecast and traffic in 5 minutes. President Trump announced a $12 billion aid package for American farmers today. U.S. Agriculture Secretary Brooke Rollins says $11 billion to go to all row crop farmers through a Department of Agriculture program. The remainder will go to other crop farmers.
The money will move by February 28th of 2026.
Applications are open now. And right now in Tennessee, a health advisory in effect for Williamson and Murray counties due to a spike in histoplasmosis infections. It's a fungal infection that spreads through airborne spores from contaminated soil that has bird and bat droppings in it. Common symptoms include fever, headache, and breathing problems. The state urging caution during outdoor work in Williamson and Murray counties and immediate medical attention for symptoms. And a Murfreesboro nurse is behind bars after police say he assaulted a patient while on duty. 25-year-old Tyler Butcher was arrested Friday and charged with sexual battery, kidnapping, and other offenses. It happened at Ascension St. Thomas Rutherford Hospital. Butcher was in custody on a $14,000 bond. He's got a court appearance in February. And experts say the cold and darkness of winter can have a profound effect on the mental well-being of people, especially those in northern states. It's called seasonal affective disorder, and ABC's Jim Ryan says those most susceptible to it have some interesting antidotes.
Mental health experts north of the Arctic Circle recommend vinterbadning, the Scandinavian practice of bathing in icy waters as a cure for seasonal depression. At the other extreme is hygge, spelled Hygge, which roughly translates to cuddling or being close and cozy with someone, either physically or emotionally.
That's the latest news, traffic, and weather next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News. Complete stop-and-go traffic. Northbound 65 from 440 to the South Loop. Eastbound to South Loop to 65, and then eastbound 24 past 440. Northbound North Loop up to the Northern Split. Downtown Split, we got a crash off on the right shoulder. That's eastbound right there at exit 211. And then in Burns, Dixon County got a crash on the left shoulder, 40 westbound past I-840. And looking up here in Clarksville, we've got an overturned semi at mile marker 14. Looks like that's going to be 24 westbound before Martin Luther King Parkway, exit 11. The slowdown is 3 miles before it. I'm Ken Weaver.
I have a call out to Holly, not a call actually, a text out to Holly to find out if it's official that we are out of sparkle syrup. The Run Amok syrup is a yearly. I mean, they have it all year, right? The Run Amok brand of syrup is absolutely delicious, and you can find it. I don't want to say exclusively because maybe it's somewhere else, but I buy it exclusively. It's Savory Spice in Franklin, just off the square. But every season, right after Thanksgiving, they bring out the sparkle syrup, which the kids absolutely love, and the holiday will not be the same without it once you get it, because it's got sparkles inside the syrup, and you put it on your pancakes or your waffles or whatever morning treats you want or whatever you want, and you eat it. But they always run out, and I have a bottle, and you can't have mine, but you can have yours at Savory Spice unless they've run out. Plus, I mean, everything for the holiday season, right? Baking, I mean, this is that time of year, and they've got all that you need for baking. They've got all you need for the cooking that you're doing. Or if you're just restocking the cupboards from the Thanksgiving holiday, find it at Savory Spice. Plus, gift-giving ideas. If you have someone that loves to cook in your life, you need to go to Savory Spice to find these incredible deals for all manner of stuff for the kitchen, plus the glorious spices that you get from Savory Spice. So in Franklin, just off the square, you'll smell it before you see it because the aroma comes through the door. It's the one and only Savory Spice. Look, now this is the season of eating, y'all. I mean, it is. I mean, Thanksgiving just happened. Holiday parties are all over the place. And then before you know it, Christmas is here. But that doesn't mean that you have to gain the weight. That doesn't mean that you can't be focused on the new year before the new year gets here. And I want you to focus in on Contours and the Mirth, which is a special that they're running at Contours LLC. Contours has this special running through the end of the year, which is pretty amazing, and you need to get on board with it. Their red light technology is the perfect solution to try to get rid of that stubborn fat that keeps you from looking your best. If you're not fitting in your clothes like you want to, think about this. They're running this special through the end of the year called the Murph. Ask them about it when you call. You get a package of belly buster treatments. Use them by the end of the year or close to. They'll work with you on that because I know we're getting up to it. And you'll get maintenance treatments every month, January, February, and March at 20% off their normal prices. And they'll let you come in and try it for just $99 for the first one. And let me tell you, when you try, you're going to buy at Contours LLC. So it's safe, it's painless, it's effective, it's cost effective. So whether it's your gut or your loved handles or your neck or wherever it is, call Contours right now. Here's the number, 615-236-9960, 236-9960, or online at ContoursLLC.com. You have nothing to lose but those inches with Contours LLC.
Jazzy.
Jackson Williams on horn. Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Matt Murphy. Happy holidays, everyone. Happy Monday. We're in with Courtney Johnston, who is on the Nashville Metro City Council. I got into a fight with somebody about you.
About me?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Lord.
Well, I don't know whether I should say this on the radio or not, but not a
Which
fight.
means you will.
It really wasn't a fight. I say it was a fight. It was just a Twitter thing because somebody put up a list of Metro councilors, and we know that y'all don't run with D's or R's. Mm-hmm. But, based on record, they were like, find me the conservative.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, well, I think Courtney's a conservative. I think she ran as a Republican in the 5th Congressional District. And, those are bona fides.
Right.
And, her, but find me another one. I'm like, well, there's one. I'm just, not arguing with you.
That doesn't sound like a fight. I feel like you're leaving out part of the story, Matt.
No, I mean, they just wanted to, they wanted to argue about whether you were conservative or not. And
yeah.
I'm like, well, that's not an argument. You can have that argument with Courtney. Don't have it with me.
Yeah.
I'm sure you get in that fight all the time. Because you have to deal with these socialists.
Well, right. And, yeah, it's just, that was one of the most frustrating things about running was, well, and then the funny thing was after that 4 months was over with, the same people that were calling me a Hamas-loving Democrat was like, "Thank you so much for all of your conservative voice and values on the council." And I'm like, "Am I in the twilight zone? Like, what are you talking about? How can you?" Anyway, it was bizarre.
Speaking of bizarre, let's talk about the Metro City Council. I am told by reliable sources, and I understand that it is a pet project of mine, but it's about to be more of a pet project because I don't think that there is enough push against Mayor O'Connell and the Metro Council on their lack of activity on the Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway. There is a $130-something million offer on the table from Bristol Motor Speedway and their parent company to revitalize that area. I believe that it will be I think in concert with what they've already done at Geodis, it will continue to revitalize that space in Nashville, and it will, what do we like to say? It will be a multiplier. Mm-hmm. I love that government term. It's a multiplier. But it is at no cost to the taxpayer, to my understanding, this deal that's on the table.
So I don't know what the terms of the new deal that they are either currently working on or is done and is just being held because of political reasons. I don't know. What I do know about the previous deal that John Cooper had, and I know would be probably not much different than that. I think what people should understand, the people that are upset about, well, I don't want a NASCAR in my backyard. You're talking about one NASCAR race every other year. Right. So we're not talking about NASCAR every weekend. We're talking about one. Everything else remains the same.
Right.
The same number of races. One NASCAR. One weekend. Additional. every other year.
And the noise abatement, the story
right.
it's like a 50% additional noise abatement every weekend that they have racing. So the noise levels are going to go down considerably.
Yes. And not only is the investment at no cost to the taxpayers, currently that is an expense. It is a liability that we pay for every year with the crumbling facilities that are there that have been ignored for decades. So we pay millions of dollars every year to keep that thing from just completely falling over. And so that all goes away. So not only are we not spending money on maintenance and renovations and things like that, we also get a brand new facility at no cost to taxpayers. We get noise abatement for the community. We get a revenue generator. Not only do we not have the debt that goes along with the investment to improve these facilities.
Now people are coming in that are spending their money.
Correct. We have a new revenue stream that will hopefully maybe be one of those things that offsets these higher property taxes. Hello. So it's just it's bizarre to me. It's also a charter protected use as part of our history. I mean, when you talk about people wanting to preserve the history, whether it's the Morrison building or things like that, it's like, well, history is history. And so why is the Morrison building something that folks are willing to get behind, but not the Nashville racetrack?
I think I feel like this is a different version of the property tax discussion, right? Because I think largely people are supportive of this concept. And you tell them about it, and they're like, absolutely, 100%. And would you consider going if they revive? Oh, yeah, I would think about it. I might not go now, but I'd think about going then. It's already being used by racing purists and people who love racing, but that would grow. These other weekends would grow if you make that facility what it could be under Bristol. Once again, at no cost. Once again, a charter-protected use. And people go, yes, it's a no-brainer. But there has not been a groundswell of push to tell the Metro Council, we're serious about this.
I think it's because anger is much more motivating than, that'd be cool.
No, I feel, and my fear is, to that point, is the anger we're seeing about the property tax increases after the fact. It's going to be there.
Too late.
If Bristol pulls out and John Ingram gets his way and he gets the use he wants for that facility, and I believe it's all about John Ingram and the money that he's holding over affordable housing, and Freddie acquiesces to his desires in the council, then people are going to get pissed when it's gone, when it's bulldozed.
When it's too late.
When it's too late.
Correct.
And I'm just trying to get in front of it and say, and I said this 3.5 years ago, folks, this is a unique part of Nashville, Tennessee that no other city has, and you will never get it back once it's gone. And when a condo's there, that's just going to be just another condo.
Yep.
And it's very frustrating.
I agree with you. We'll see what happens. I mean, we'll see if that deal is ever even brought to us meaning the council.
Because the old deal got approved by the Fairgrounds Board.
Correct.
And it was set to go to the council, and they never brought it up.
Correct.
Because of a change in administration.
Correct.
And just to signpost so everybody understands where we are, when Freddie got in power, he came on this show and he said, I'm in favor of the Fairground Speedway, but I am focused on transit, and I'm going to get my transit plan in place before we deal with that. Well, guess what? The transit plan happened, and we still haven't dealt with this. And now I don't know where Freddie is on it. He's hemming and hawing on it for some, and now and so they've waited long enough. They got community input. The Fairground Board voted. Now they have shifted back to 3 years ago and said, well, we need community input. No, you don't. You already had community input.
Right. And
it's just a lot of obfuscation and delay, and I don't know. It's very frustrating.
It is, but 100%. This is when you say the ball is in his court, the mayor has the deal. Whether the deal has been inked or not, and I certainly don't know. I have a feeling that it is, that those terms have been worked out for the new deal. I haven't seen it. It obviously hasn't been made public. I don't know, but he has the ability to either go back, and I don't know if they even have to go back to the Fair Board. I don't know if the new deal is materially different enough that would cause it to have to go back to the Fair Board. But regardless, it either has to go back to the Fair Board first and then come to us, or just come directly to us. Again, either way, he's in control of that.
Well, this community, and look, I'm a newbie, so I'm not here to wag my finger at anybody that's been here a while, including you, Courtney. But y'all lost Opryland. Y'all didn't get a say in it. They just shut that down while y'all were sleeping, literally. You almost lost the Ryman. They're about to get ready to tear the Ryman down and put a condo there. Mm-hmm. And I'm not comparing the Nashville Speedway to either of those entities, but I'm saying that there are a lot of similarities. And there is history in that facility that dates back to 1904. And you're never getting it back if we don't do so. And I'm getting ready. I feel like that there needs to be someone that is the tip of the spear that's willing to. I don't know. I'm waiting for that entity, and I know that there's a lot of interested parties, but I'm wondering, is there an entity that has coalesced behind one voice that goes to the council meeting? And I'm willing to do that if people are behind me. If I can get people there, I'm willing to do it, where we go to the meetings and we say, where are we on this? Why haven't you voted on this? And press the elected officials, because that's the only thing they understand, right? Is pressure. Is that fair?
Well,
on an issue
it depends
like this?
I think it depends on who the pressure is coming from, actually. I mean, we've seen multiple things where there was a lot of pressure that was coming from residents that was totally ignored because they just had their mind made up and they feel like they know best, and that's it. So, again, I was reading an article today in the Pamphleteer, and I encourage people to sign up for that newsletter, pamphleteer.co. That's talking about the difference between politics and politicking. And while politics should be around policy and all this, and this is what we're talking about, is what's the right thing to do. In the meantime, the people that are actually voting are politicking on who is the influencer here and what can I, that type of stuff. And so to your point, where here's these major issues, and in the meantime, you got people toppling over the mountain.
Mm-hmm. All right. So back to another issue that there's been a lot of politicking on. So the question I get more than anything with regard to Nashville when we talk about safety is whether or not Nashville has reached a point that Governor Bill Lee should do for Nashville what they did to Memphis and take over and bring in the National Guard. I do not believe that we're there, but I'm fearful that we could get there if local leadership does not do and give to Metro Nashville Police the tools that they have been begging for. We talk about them every time you're on, whether it's FUSIS or LPRs. I mean, look, these are components that the Metro Nashville Police say that they need. I believe that the men and women who are on the street work very, very hard to keep our communities safe. And if they say they need these tools and you put safeguards in place, why the elected leadership will not give them these tools is beyond me, because the future is that a future governor, if not Bill Lee, someone else, has to say, okay, it's gotten bad enough. We're about to kill the goose that lays the golden eggs in terms of tourism dollars. We got to bring National Guard in here to make sure people are safe.
I agree with you 100%. There are things at our fingertips that we have the funding for, we have the support for. LPRs have, it's an 80-20 issue. Worst case, it's that 80% of the people support that, and we still can't do it because of whatever politics. I don't even. To me, there's no argument against it. It's ridiculous.
I would agree.
And so, I don't want the National Guard to come here because I do feel like we know we can take care of this ourselves. So why waste the resources of the National Guard when we can do it ourselves, and yet we're choosing not to? Mm-hmm. That's what's upsetting to me. And so I hope we don't get to that point. And the numbers show that we're not at the levels that Memphis is or was at. But could we get there? Absolutely. And so
the thieves come where the police aren't and where the money is.
So, yeah, which is another reason why all these LPRs in these collar counties continue to catch
my adopted
our
hometown
criminals.
of Mount Juliet, right? I mean, they're catching Nashville people all the time, and many other communities. I just noticed Mount Juliet.
And it's putting a strain on those local police departments. They're going, hey, can you please handle your own stuff because we're tired of handling it for you? So, I agree with you. We're not there yet. We could be. We definitely have tools that we have at our disposal that we could vote on very easily. Well, I say easily, but it could be brought to a vote. We certainly have the funding for it, God knows. And these are easy. These are easy button stuff.
Do you believe, I'm going to ask in the minute or two that we have left, because I want to make sure that I've covered everything of note. Well, let me ask you that question first. Is there anything else that needs to be on our radar screen, Metro-wise, that isn't?
I don't know. There's probably. You just threw that out of left field. We've got a lot of things that I think we could be doing better to make our county run more efficiently and effectively, that we're actively choosing not to do. That's all really an executive branch function. So that's frustrating, and they're not hard things to do. They're just things that you have to be willing to do.
I should note, and thank you, 0404. I apologize. Sometimes I talk above the newbies in the audience, and I don't mean to do that. LPRs.
Yes, license plate readers.
And I understand that, I talk to my civil libertarian friends all the time. I talk to my, look, I get it. I'm with you. I understand and share the concerns. But at the same time, I have seen the program, and the program overcomes those concerns in the interest of general public safety. That said, we can debate that later on. You think Afton's going to run against Freddie?
Yeah.
She's going to flank Freddie to the left?
I think the only
That's the only avenue, right?
Oh, 100%. Yeah. She'll push him to the middle. Yeah. Wherever that is.
So crazy Afton, and I say that in love because she's been on the show. She can come on anytime she wants to. I don't begrudge her crazy, but she's pretty crazy politically. She could potentially make Freddie a better mayor.
Well,
I mean, in a weird way.
I think she could make him a more appealing candidate. I don't know about a better mayor. Those are two different things.
That's very fair. That's very fair. Is there any planet that Courtney Johnston runs for mayor?
I have no idea.
As we sit here today?
I have no idea. I think next year is going to be interesting when those property tax bills come due, which is February the 28th.
Uh-huh.
And like I said, I get calls all the time from Democrats that are expressing frustration and what are we going to do, and a little bit of panic when you have businesses that are talking about leaving. And I mean longstanding businesses that are talking about leaving the county because the property tax liability is so untenable. And while the numbers show that crime is down, it doesn't feel that way. And so what people's perception is their reality.
Mm-hmm.
And especially when we know that we have tools that we can be using to make those numbers be even better and have a palatable feeling of security that would be given with those tools that we could be using and by investing in our police department that we're not doing. And so I think where we should be looking at is fiscal responsibility and public safety. And if we had an election on those two things, that would be more clear. If it's on party line, it is sort of what it is.
Courtney, always a pleasure.
Thanks
Great
for having
hour.
me.
Thank you. There's Courtney Johnston, a member of the Metro Nashville City Council. We'll be back in a moment, 54 after the hour on Super Talk. How do you keep your important valuables secure from theft or fire? What about Nashville Safe House? Friends, Mark and his team want you at Nashville Safe House, not tomorrow, not next week, but today. Get over there and see the incredible selection of safes they have for the holiday season. They got great deals, too. Rebates until the end of the year on their best-selling brands like Browning and much, much more. But they got a safe for every budget. They got a safe for every fire rating. Fort Knox, Champion, Browning, Rhino, you name it, they've got it at Nashville Safe House. They have biometrics in their lobby area. They got the Matt Murphy special in the lobby area. Donald Trump's there looking over the Matt Murphy special as we speak. You can meet both when you stop by Nashville Safe House. They are right on 4th Avenue South, right across the street from City Cemetery, which has a lot of history in this city, it's my understanding. So if you know the history of City Cemetery, wave to the cemetery as you walk through the doors of Nashville Safe House. Go to NashvilleSafeHouse.com. That's NashvilleSafeHouse.com, or see them in person on 4th Avenue South. Hey, friends, Matt Murphy for Defend Systems. Defend Systems is a life safety and security consulting firm based right here in Middle Tennessee. You've heard Brink Fiddler on the show plenty. You've heard his teammates, Gloria and Tracy and Adam and the rest of the gang. They are expert professionals in helping keep you as safe as possible in your business, in your school, in your church, wherever people gather. Active shooter response training, site surveys and threat assessments, security improvement consultation, emergency and intruder action plans, all customized to your facility. Plus, your team gets trained in what to do in the unlikely event that something bad happens to your facility or to your people, right? It is not very likely that we'll have a shooting situation or a workplace violence situation. But frankly, friends, the percentage is not zero, and hope is not a plan, ever. It's time to get trained with Defend Systems. Call them today and schedule something, if not this year, for the brand new year. 615-236-6484. 236-6484, defendsystems.com.
Five o'clock on the dot. I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Got the full forecast and traffic in 5 minutes, and it appears there's been another knife attack, a random knife attack on Charlotte, North Carolina's light rail system. Charlotte police say they have the attacker in custody. They've identified him as 33-year-old illegal immigrant and twice deported Oscar Salarzano. They say attacked a passenger Friday. The victim, 24-year-old Kenyon Doby, hospitalized with serious injuries but expected to recover. This is the second high-profile stabbing on Charlotte's light rail in 4 months. You'll remember in August, Ukrainian refugee Irina Zarutska was fatally stabbed on the same line, prompting increased security measures and political debate over immigration enforcement. President Trump announced a $12 billion aid package for American farmers today. He says it's going to be money from tariffs.
What we're doing is we're taking a relatively small portion of that, and we're going to be giving and providing it to the farmers in economic assistance. And we love our farmers, and as you know, the farmers like me.
Agriculture Secretary Brooke Rollins says $11 billion will go to all row crop farmers, the rest for other crop farmers.
The money will move by February 28th of 2026, but by the end of this month, so just in the next couple of weeks, every farmer that is able to apply for it will know exactly what that number looks like.
The USDA says Tennessee has roughly 69,000 farms. Tennessee Department of Health is alerting residents in Williamson and Murray counties to an outbreak of histoplasmosis. This is a fungal disease. It often appears after exposure to soil that has bird or bat droppings. It can cause severe illness, particularly in vulnerable individuals. Health officials advise reporting symptoms like cough and chest pain to a doctor quickly. A nurse at a Murfreesboro hospital is charged with sexually assaulting a patient. Police say 25-year-old Tyler Butcher was arrested Friday night, booked into the Rutherford County Adult Detention Center. He faces charges of sexual battery, kidnapping, and indecent exposure. Butcher's bond was set at $14,000. His next court appearance is set for February the 5th. That's the latest news. Traffic and weather next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News. Antioch, we've got a crash partially blocking the off-ramp 24 eastbound to Haywood Lane. Then downtown, the right shoulder blocked by a crash 65 northbound past Rosa Parks Boulevard. Berry Hill, a crash blocking the on-ramp. This is 65 northbound from Armory Drive. So it's blocking the on-ramp to 65 northbound from Armory Drive. And then in Clarksville, we've got an overturned semi blocking the left lane 24 westbound before ML King Parkway exit 11. I'm Ken Weaver.
I disagree. It looks different, Jackson. Watch. I'll tell you what. I'll show you. Jackson and I are having a mild disagreement. So here, I'm going to put that up. Just, you got it up? Is it showing it?
Yep, looks exactly the same as always.
Well, see, it's not showing it for me. It says picture-in-picture is open because your screen share. Pardon me while we produce the show on the radio. Hey, friends, it's the Matt Murphy Radio Show, Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Glad to have you with us 7 minutes after 5 o'clock. It has been a lively and busy day thus far, this Monday edition. We thank you for being a part of the show. I just put that up as a test. That's Notre Dame's stupid announcement that as a team, we've decided to withdraw our name from consideration for a bowl game. Okay. The not-so-fighting Irish. Right? I mean,
the don't want to fight Irish.
Yeah, we're all good Irish.
Oh, here we go.
I mean, the new nickname for the Notre Dame football team? Oh. We'd prefer just to go on home, take our ball and go on home Irish.
The butt-hurt Irish.
The butt-hurt Irish. I bet that's not the first time they've heard that. Anyway. All right, so you can stop sharing the screen. You were right, Jackson. You were right. I was wrong. I don't say that very often.
As usual.
No, I don't know about all that.
I've prepared a song for this occasion.
Have you? What's the song?
Ken, join in if you know the words.
Yeah, why don't you sing it for us?
Jackson was right. Jackson was right. Jackson was right. Murphy was wrong.
Little off the beat there, but that's okay. That's all right. You remind me of Ricky Skaggs, Jackson. Not in your ability to play a mandolin or your ability to sing a song, but Ricky's wife Sharon was on stage with him, and she whispered to him, and she wanted him to sing "Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer," and he had to get someone. This happened last night at the Fishing Center. He had to get somebody to. Before he would sing it, because it was kind of off the cuff, she was like, I really wish you'd sing Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. And he had to get somebody to write down the names of all of the rest of the reindeer. He's like, I don't know the rest of the reindeer. So he read off, Dasher and Dancer and Prancer and Vixen, Donner and Cupid and something and Blitzen. I don't know all the reindeer. I was today old when I learned that. All right, so Matt has been holding on for some time on the line. Mike and Old Hickory's out there. I want to talk to you about liberals who are now arguing against deporting anyone, and I've got a couple of receipts to share with you. It has gotten to the level of absurdity where they are going on this subject. Do we not all agree on open borders? Rather, do we not all agree on closed borders? Apparently not. They are arguing for open borders, it seems. I'll share more on that with you coming up in just a couple of minutes. But right now, in the spirit and in the interest of the holiday season, we go to the phone calls and talk to Matt. Hey, Matt.
Hey.
How are you?
Hey, good. This is Hot Dog. I heard something about you moving to Pilgrim.
Oh, I thought this was Matt and you wanted to talk about hot dogs, and this is Hot Dog and you wanted to talk about Matt.
Yeah, I want to talk about Matt.
Oh.
What I'm saying, I'm not saying you are or you're not moving to Pilgrim, but if you do, buddy, I live on Sam's Creek. I'm about 5 miles down the road. Me and you're going to be tighter than ticks on a hound dog because we're going to go frog gigging. We're going to hunt possum on Saturday night. We're going over to Ashland City and have a steak.
Ooh,
Sunday morning,
big
we'll go
city.
to Act City Church of Christ and worship. I'm telling you, man, I hope you're coming here because this ain't the last you've heard of me.
Well, I mean, you make it very appetizing, Hot Dog.
Dude, if you catch a bunch of frogs and you get them legs, you better bring them up here, Brother Matt
Oh,
Murphy.
man.
Is this Ken Weaver?
That's Brother Ken Weaver.
Ken Weaver, I've talked to you before. Me and you are the same age, the same height, got a long beard. I just have a little more hair on top. But
he's like a brother from another mother, Ken Weaver.
We're real good-looking fellas, Brother Matt. Real good-looking fellas.
Yes, we are. Matthew, I pray that you come here because we're going to have a good time, and I thank you for it.
Hot Dog's call reminds me of a joke. And I'm not saying Hot Dog, thank you, and God bless you. I love Pegram. I love Pegram in Ashland City, and actually have been looking for a place out there because that's good people out there. Those are good people out there, and I pick because I love. But his call. Have you ever heard the joke where a guy moves out into the country and there's like nobody around?
The story of Matt Murphy.
And now, hold on a second. And so, and he's been there. He's unpacked. He's been there about a week or so, and he gets the old knock on the door, and it's this big, huge, burly fella. He's got a big beard. He's got a hat. And he goes, "I just want to introduce myself and tell you I'm your neighbor about 4 miles down the way there, and I just want to talk to you about how we do things back in the backcountry." And the guy goes, "Okay, well, sure. I'm from the city, but this is what I came here for, and I love it, and, it's all good." And he goes, "Well, things get wild out here, fella. Things get pretty wild, especially on the weekends. We do some partying. We drank and we drank. I mean, we drank a lot, and I want to invite you over. We're going to drink." And he goes, "Well, I drink. I'll drink a little bit." And he goes, "Well, this party you're invited to, though, now, they do a little smoking, too, if you know what I mean. We're in the backcountry, and we grow things back here, and we like to smoke them. So there's going to be some smoking. We're going to drink, and we're going to smoke." And he goes, "Well, I haven't done it in a while, but, believe it or not, I might have been known to fire one up every now and again. I guess I can handle that. We're way back out here in the country. Well, listen now. You need to know this, too. There's going to be some dancing. We're going to kick our boots on, and we're going to get our dance on. And we're going to have a good old time drinking and a smoking and a dancing." The guy goes, "Well, I know you probably wouldn't know it to see me, but I can dance a little bit, too. So," and he goes, "Well, one final thing, fella. If you come to this party I'm inviting you to, you just need to know this, that a lot of times these parties, they end up in some sex. Now, you just need to know it. There's going to be some sex." And the guy goes, "Well, I didn't think you'd go there, but, it's been a long time since I've, been in the company of others, and I don't guess I'd mind that either."
The company of others.
And the guy says, "All right, then, we'll see you this weekend." And as the guy starts to turn around and leave, he goes, "Hey, by the way, how many people normally show up at these parties of yours?" And the guy says, "What are you talking about? It's just going to be me and you." Hey, that's a great joke. That's a good joke. This is going to be me and you? I didn't tell it right. That one's on me. I didn't tell it right. That one's on me. Let me start over. No, I'm just kidding. That's a good joke. It's just going to be me and you. I didn't tell it right. But y'all get it. Y'all get the idea. Hot dog, that's not you. I'm not saying that's you. But you just reminded me of that joke.
Well, if you do move out there and you get a bunch of frog legs, bring them up here.
Let me tell you something, Ken Weaver. I've only had frog legs twice in my life, and one time was at a restaurant, and the other time was my grandpa and I went frog gigging when I was like 13 years old, and we ate them the next morning with eggs. Oh!
Yeah.
You know what they taste like, Ken?
Chicken.
Chicken, yeah.
But they got a better taste.
They do. There's a
little bit better.
Yeah, I would agree. Frog legs are good.
Yeah.
Frog legs are good. Cleaning them, not my favorite thing, but eating them, I dig. Mike is in Old Hickory.
How you doing, Matt?
Mike, if I felt any better, well, I'll put it this way. I feel better all over than I do anywhere else.
Yep. Well, what do you think's going on now with the approval ratings?
Mike, that was a good one, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Now,
Mike, Merry Christmas.
Yeah. Well, Merry Christmas and after Thanksgiving to you.
All right.
But by the way, since we're going to get serious here, we're talking about the future of our country, and we're talking about Donald Trump's ratings, the RNC ratings, Van Epp that won by 9 points. You were close. You were really close. You
Thank
said
you, Mike.
10 points.
I did. Thank you.
And I said it should have been 20 to 30, and that's why we're having conversations now in the Republican Party. It should have been 20 to 30 because we're losing. And the daily conversation across the media is that Trump is in the low 30s, the RNC's in the low 30s, and guess what? Americans are unhappy, and we just aren't making it because of Donald Trump, which we know that's not true. You and I, we're in the 1% that knows that's not true. But the 99% now believe in it. And guess what? Donald Trump is now having to get out on his jet and start flying around the country trying to prove what we already know is happening. Good things are happening in this country, but they don't believe it. And the RNC just can't seem to get the message across. And when Van Epps won by 9 points, I said, great, yay, he won. But I said, nope, that's bad because he should have won by 20. And that's sending a message across to these Democrats, these liberals, these socialists, these communists. They're all same word, communist. Stop using the word socialist. Start using the word communist from now on.
Hey, Mike, tell everybody the difference between socialism and communism. Go ahead.
The military supports the socialist part by putting you in jail, killing you if you don't agree with it. That's the only difference. They put you in gulags. It's the Putin KGB type communism that puts people in jail that says, like in Red China, you can have a so-called capitalist economy, but if you disagree with it, we'll just put you in jail. The difference between socialism and communism is that communism says if you don't believe in us, we'll just kill you. And so there's no difference because socialism kills people's souls.
Well, socialism, I mean, this is the way that I would answer my own question. Socialism is an avenue to communism. Communism is a pipe dream as a concept, as envisioned by Karl Marx. Karl Marx envisioned communism as a communal society where there's no private property ownership whatsoever, which is a pipe dream. It's never going to happen. So what you get to is socialism, which is government control over all private property and the means of production.
Exactly. Right. And that's what we're now seeing in New York, Mamdani, and in Nashville. Let's come home to Nashville and watch what's going on here. We're seeing a mayor, and we're seeing Davidson County, you were talking about earlier, this big, massive property tax increase.
Yes.
What do you think that's for? What do you think that's for? Do you think that's for the benefit of Davidson County? No. That's the benefit of government in Davidson County controlling Nashville residents. I've got a friend of mine who lives like one block inside Davidson County, outside Wilson County. He found out what his tax bill came in. It came in, he says, bye-bye Davidson. He put his house up for sale. He's moving to Wilson. But it's so subtle. It comes in so subtle.
Well, I agree with you, and thanks, Mike, for the call. I would agree with you that I would have loved to have seen a better percentage margin of victory between Van Epps and Afton Bay. And there's a lot of reasons why that did not happen. Part of it is the Trump impact. Trump is going to be a net +8 when he's on the ballot. He's not on the ballot anymore. I don't really give a crap. I mean, try not to be crude. I don't really care what Trump's approval ratings are. I care what people think about the nature of the country, where they feel like the country's going. And I do not believe that perception has met reality when it comes to trying to turn the economy around. We need an economic boost in 2026. If we see an economic recession which could come without any it could come without any impact, or without any input, I should say, from the federal government. In other words, without any ability to control it, you could see an economic downturn in early 2026. I certainly hope that that's not the case. I hope the powers that be continue to create the fertile playing ground and the fertile field that's going to promote growth, because we need that growth prior to the elections of 2026. Now, all of this to say, nothing is going to make me happy until the Republicans, while they are in charge, do something about the national debt. The national debt is going to be the end of this nation if we do not get it under control, and we will never pay it off. We simply must stop adding to it. Y'all hear me? We will never pay it off. Sadly, we just won't. We don't have the political will to stop adding trillions of dollars to it. You think we're going to get the political will to spend money to pay it down? I don't think so. The best we can ever hope for is to stop adding to the national debt. Okay? All right. More calls coming up, 615-737-9986. I have a continued conversation. I've got a couple of examples of how liberals are off their nut when it comes to immigration policy in the United States of America, and they're siding literally with criminals as opposed to law and order. That's on the way. More of your calls. Plus, I'd like to wish I don't do shout-outs, but I'll wish a happy birthday to Keith, who's a loyal listener to the Matt Murphy Show, and he said it's his 54th birthday today. Happy birthday, Keith. Way to go, buddy. 22 after the hour on Super Talk. Friends, we had a wonderful opportunity to sit down and spend a few good hours on the campus of Valor Ridge. That's the Men of Valor campus here in Nashville, Tennessee. There's also one in Knoxville, and they have beds for men who come out of the prison system that need structure in their lives to make sure that they are givers and not takers of their communities. And that's what it's all about, right? 90+% of the men who go into the prison system are going to get out. What type of men do you want coming out? Career criminals or men who have given their lives over to God, who have given their lives to Jesus Christ, who understand what it's like to have a full and productive life on this earth, and who understand about eternity. That's what it's all about, friends. Ultimate accountability. Let's help Men of Valor, help the men that are in the prison system through volunteering, and they would love to have volunteers that go with them into the system. And don't worry, they'll feed you baby birds, and they'll help you understand exactly what there is to do and how to do it. Secondarily, they need your donations. If you're in the giving spirit, I encourage you to go to movministry.com. That's movministry.com, and give as you can to Men of Valor.
another stabbing on Charlotte's light rail. We'll tell you about this story and more at 5:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
You know what I just realized? Jackson, next Halloween, I got a great Halloween outfit for you.
What is it?
King Henry. You would look great as King Henry.
I'm good.
What?
I did a report on him.
Did you?
Did with a lot of wives.
Yeah, kept killing them because they couldn't get him a son, I think.
Did he really?
Yeah. He beheaded a couple of them. He created a church, Ken.
He's a nice fella.
He seemed like a good guy. Am I right? Yeah, y'all.
He created a church?
Yeah, the Church of England. Because if you're Catholic, you couldn't get a divorce. I'm almost 100% that I'm not BSing here.
I should have paid attention to history.
I think that's right. That King Henry VIII, because like Anne Boleyn and these others, they couldn't bear. He needed an heir, and they just kept giving him daughters. I think so.
He just killed the wife.
Well, he claimed that they were cheating on him or something. I don't remember exactly the claims.
8 times.
And so he would kill his wife and marry another one, and the church didn't like that very much, and so he created the Church of England, which was exactly like the Catholic Church, except you get divorced. Y'all, I'm almost positive that I'm telling this story correctly, or it could be completely.
Would he divorce them, or would he kill them? Or was it a case-by-case basis?
I think he beheaded Anne Boleyn.
He'd come up with excuses.
I think he beheaded Anne Boleyn.
Oh, my wife's head fell off. I need a new one.
What are you going to do? Oh, she was a traitor to the crown. You know what I'm saying? And so, give me another turkey leg and another wife. He's a big fella, too. Can you imagine how bad he stunk?
Pre-shower?
They didn't bathe. They didn't bathe for months, Jackson.
That's how it is where you're going.
We got square bath. You go to the town square and get in the bath water in the fountain. Just don't confuse the drinking water fountain with the bathing fountain. That's what they tell me where we're going.
It's not Saturday night.
What are you doing in that fountain, boy? Not Saturday night. Also, we're going to party. Anyway, I won't tell that joke again.
Back in the day, I wouldn't have taken a bath on Saturday night. I'd have been at the saloon.
Well, me too.
That's taking up
saloon
time.
You got to wash up before you go to the saloon.
No, not back in the day. I guarantee you John Wayne didn't bathe on Saturday night.
The Duke?
The Duke?
No, he was knocking some back at the old saloon. You pick it up, Liberty.
Well, now wait a minute. He probably did bathe for that because he had the hots for the old gal there at the.
Yeah. Are you talking about the man who shot Liberty?
Man who shot Liberty Valance.
Yeah, he did have the hots for the chick at the saloon.
That's my steak, Liberty.
I said you did it. You pick it up, Liberty.
Man, that's a great movie.
That is a pretty good movie.
You need to have Jackson watch that one.
Black and white, Jackson. Black and white alert. So, yes, the general consensus on the super text line is I'm correct in my weak at this is Murphy's version of history is no, this dude, he wanted to have a son and they couldn't get him a son. And so he waited a minute and she didn't get him a son. So he beheaded her and then married and then and the church is like, hey, you got to stop. You got to stop.
Do that.
You got to stop beheading your wives just because they can't bear you sons. You have to stay married. And he was like, well, the hell with the Catholic Church. I'm going to create the Church of England, which is going to be exactly like the Catholic Church, except
you can get divorced.
You can get divorced.
So did he just tell everybody he had like divine intervention?
Oh, it was a big deal. And then I think.
Oh, I had a vision. God came to me.
I think he basically said, and also everybody in England has to be a member of the Church of England. You can't be a Catholic anymore.
Must be nice to be king.
I mean, being king would be pretty good.
Yeah.
It's good. I mean, except when the whole mutiny thing happens.
Yeah.
They turn on you.
And you're but you know.
Until then, you're good.
You're pretty dead once the mutiny happens. So, like.
Yeah, well,
not your problem anymore.
Can you imagine?
Depends on the process.
It goes from a big problem to not your problem very quickly, Ken.
Can you imagine how badass Queen Elizabeth had to be being a female back in that day?
Yeah.
And having to deal with the patriarchy? I can't imagine. All right, I can imagine this. We got to get to a break. Tony and John coming up. We've got Nincompoops on the way. I still have my rant on immigration. I told you we were struggling with not GoldBricking. I think we're doing a pretty good job. It's been a pretty good show so far. 32. I ruined it. 32 after the hour in Super Talk.
I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Got the full forecast and traffic in 5 minutes. A stabbing on Charlotte, North Carolina's light rail has left a man seriously hurt, another behind bars. Police say Oscar Solorzano, who is in the country illegally, even though he's been deported twice, stabbed Kenyon Doby Friday afternoon. Doby rushed to the hospital with a chest injury, but in stable condition. Solorzano charged with attempted murder, held without bond. You might remember in August, Ukrainian refugee Irina Zarutska was fatally stabbed on this same line, prompting increased security measures and political debate over immigration enforcement. Here's a story that'll perk up some ears in Nashville. Rock legend Gene Simmons wants fair play. The musician's been lobbying Congress to vote in favor of the American Music Fairness Act. He says radio executives should pay artists every time a song is played on their airwaves, especially the estates of some famous artists.
How about the executives everywhere who get paid a very nice living, as well they should, because they work hard for it. But what about the Elvis estate, the Frank Sinatra estate? These are the music superheroes of the world.
The bill hasn't reached the congressional floor yet. President Trump announcing a funding package for U.S. farmers. He says it's coming from tariffs. U.S. Secretary of Agriculture Brooke Gale-Rollins.
Today, we are going to be effectuating an $11 billion bridge payment to our farmers. The money will move by February 28th of 2026.
Tennessee has roughly 69,000 farms, according to USDA data. And the Tennessee Department of Health has issued a health advisory for Williamson and Murray counties. Officials report an increase in histoplasmosis. It's a fungal infection linked to soil with bird or bat droppings. Symptoms include fever, cough, chest pain, shortness of breath. Residents urged to seek medical care if they experience these signs. That's the latest news. Traffic and weather next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News. Cedar Hill, we've got 24 westbound closed between Maxey Road and ML King Parkway, exit 11. And then in Berry Hill, we've got a crash. On-ramp is blocked. This is to go northbound on 65 from Armory Drive. Over by the airport, a crash eastbound at Briley Parkway. And in Hermitage, the crash is partially blocking the on-ramp to 40 eastbound from Stewart's Ferry Pike. One more crash, Metro Center, accident, right shoulder block, 65 northbound past Rosa Parks Boulevard. I'm Ken Weaver.
I mean, you hear the man, right? The conditions are going to put a strain on your heating unit. I mean, it's as simple as that. And if your unit's not running as it should, Jeff Eddy and Efficient Heating and Cooling can help. I talk about him all the time as the best, and I believe that. Jeff Eddy and his team at Efficient Heating and Cooling. They're a smaller company, but they believe in results. They are results-oriented, so they don't charge you overtime rates at night. They don't charge you overtime rates on the weekends because they don't believe in it. They also make sure that they keep their maintenance costs low because they want to encourage you to get maintenance done on your unit. It extends the life by years on your heating units. And so if you're doing the maintenance, kudos to you. If you've not done it yet, you still have time. Never charging you over $125. And for the most part, $125 is, and you're never going to pay that. You're going to pay less than that, depending on the number of units you have at your residence. At some point, you have to replace, and when that time comes, they're an Elite Pro partner with Rheem. They can help you out with that, too. They offer financing options available as well. Give them a call today. Tell them Matt Murphy sent you to Efficient Heating and Cooling. Jeff Eddy. If your heater's not ready, call Jeff Eddy. 615-784-4424, 784-4424. You know, if Santa Claus had an action movie where he had to, like, kill the bad people, this would be the soundtrack to it. You know what I'm saying? It's like... Or he's killing the evil gremlins or whatever they are.
Kind of like the start to Bill Murray, Scrooged.
Yes.
Remember, it had Steve Austin in it.
I need to rewatch that movie.
Oh, that's great.
I love that. Scrooged is like my third favorite version of A Christmas Carol.
Mm-hmm. It's okay.
Thank you, Jackson, for your contribution to the show.
You're welcome.
What do you mean it's okay?
It's okay.
It's just okay?
Yeah.
You just don't like Bill Murray?
I love Bill Murray.
You don't like Christmas? You don't like Buster Poindexter?
Who's that?
That was the Ghost of Christmas Present, the guy driving the taxi cab.
Okay.
Passed away not too long ago.
Oh, did he really?
He did, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
I hope where he went was not hot, hot, hot. Thank you, Ken. Thank you for giving me the pity laugh on that joke. Jackson, for those of you in the back, Buster Poindexter sang a song called Hot, Hot, Hot.
Hot, hot, hot.
Ole, 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 ole. Hot, hot, hot. Anyway, what is your favorite version of A Christmas Carol, Jackson?
I don't know.
Alistair Sim, I mean, he did
That's my favorite.
It's a pretty good one.
Yep.
Alistair,
You know what the first thing that came to my mind was?
my favorite is A Muppet Christmas Carol.
Okay. That was
favorite.
the second thing that came to my mind.
That is 100% my favorite version of A Christmas Carol.
SNL did a skit a couple of years ago on A Christmas Carol that was really funny.
Well, that's not the movie.
No, but it was like they turned it into a slasher film.
Okay. I could see that. Sure.
Where he turned good, but he kept accidentally killing villagers.
Okay.
It's really funny.
Did you you ever seen the SNL bit on It's a Wonderful Life?
Yes.
No.
Or it's got Dana Carvey as Jimmy Stewart. Yeah. Take that, Potter. Yeah, come on, give him some. Instead of Jimmy, instead of Jimmy Stewart, George Bailey being the better man, he just beats crap out of old man. He dumps him out of his wheelchair and just, take that, old man.
So what I've wanted to do the last 10 years of watching that movie.
Yes. Yeah, no, A Muppet Christmas Carol is the superior version of A Christmas Carol to me. And Michael Caine's version of Scrooge is very, very underrated because he's dealing with a bunch of Muppets. But I think that makes what he does even more impressive. Ebenezer Scrooge, let me give you a little... I want to nerd out, an acting nerd out, because I was a theater major. People know that I was an actor when I was a kid. But Ebenezer Scrooge is one of the more difficult roles to play as an actor, because you have to make a transition from crotchety. I mean, you have to be a realistic, crotchety old so-and-so, an absolute jerk, and you have to make a transition from absolute jerk to nice guy, and it's almost impossible for people to do. But also another underrated, George C. Scott's version is really good.
I've been trying to watch that here lately, and I keep getting interrupted.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but I do like it.
Yeah, it's good. It's good. It is the better modern telling of it that exists. That one, Alistair Sim, and then my favorite.
I like the Jim Carrey one.
See, I never saw the Jim Carrey one.
Oh, you need to see that one.
Animated?
Yeah, animated. It's got famous people who are doing the voices.
Okay.
And Gary Oldman plays Ichabod Crane.
I love Gary Oldman.
Plays his Clark.
Bob Cratchit?
Bob Cratchit.
Oh, Gary Oldman's good.
My favorite version of Scrooge is the musical back in 1970. That was Albert Finney.
Albert? I don't think I've...
Oh, you got to check it out.
I got to check that one out,
You watch that on YouTube for free.
I'm going to watch that on the YouTubes. And someone said that the George C. Is that the George C. Scott you're telling me about? Wait, no. They're saying watch Fat Man with Mel Gibson on Netflix. Well, I hear that was good. And Betty says Sir Michael Caine is one of the finest actors of his generation or our time. I would agree with you 100%. Michael Caine doesn't get the credit he deserves for his acting skills because he took every damn job he was ever offered. But Dirty Rotten Scoundrels is a fabulous film. Michael Caine in that. Michael Caine was fabulous in, was he in Cider House Rules? I think he was really good in Cider House Rules. And obviously in Christmas. He's good in everything he does. And he's great as Alfred, the butler in the Batman series.
That's right.
Henry Winkler was the best Scrooge. What?
Yeah, he was in a Scrooge, too. I haven't seen that one either.
I haven't either.
I'm going to watch all the Scrooges this
Have you
Christmas.
seen...
Let's do it, Weaver. Me and you, Weaver. And we'll actually, Weaver, you should just take over this bit that Jackson and I are doing because we're failing at it.
I always watch my movie. Except that one time I didn't.
Hey, you know what we should do right now? Nincompoops in the news. Y'all hang in there. Tony, hang in there. John and Tony want to talk about the national debt. Eric wants to talk about Christmas Carol. I'm talking to all of you. We just need to do a little nincompoopery, and we'll get to your telephone calls in a moment on this Monday edition of the Matt Murphy Show. It's time for nincompoops in the news. You probably know what the news is, what news is going on out there. You might not know that there's a few nincompoops out and about, and we're going to share some of those with you, and you get to vote. 615-737-9986. Ken Weaver always comes in at an advantage because he's more likable and tells a better story than Jackson or I.
I don't know about that.
Jackson's number 2 in this because he's a lovable fuzzball, and then there's me, and I always get dumped on. But that's okay. Every once in a while, I'll squeak out a victory. Jackson, who won Friday?
No idea.
Me either.
I say we give it to Ken Weaver.
Can't even remember what I did on Friday.
Ken, were you even here on Friday?
Yeah, I was here.
Well, he was here. I remember that. I'm going to go first since nobody can remember.
Hit it, Brother Murphy.
I thought of you, Ken Weaver, when I found this story.
All right.
I thought of you when I found this story. And you'll see
big
why.
old, tall, tough fella?
Yeah, big old guy. Who likes frog legs. A 57-year-old man in Sault Ste. Marie, Ontario, has been charged with assault following an incident involving a snowblower. The Sault Ste. Marie Police Service said that shortly after 9 a.m. on December 7th, 911 operators received a report of an assault that had occurred the previous afternoon on the 100 block of 2nd Line West. An investigation revealed the accused got into an argument with the victim, who is known to them, before intentionally directing snow from a snowblower at them. Although no physical injuries were reported from the incident, officers located the accused Sunday and took him into custody and charged him with assault. No further details on the incident were available, so we're going to fill them in. So, old 57-year-old fella, whose name is not included in the report, so we're going to call him Win Keever. So old Win Keever's out there, and he's blowing his snow, and he's not happy about it, friends, because while he lives in Ontario, he hates winter. He hates the winter weather. He hates everything about it. But he's blowing the snow with his big old snowblower. And his neighbor, we're going to call him Waxon Jillians. Waxon comes out, and Waxon's like, hey, man, you're blowing the snow over in my yard. How about not do that? And old Win Keever says,
Fiddlesticks.
How about fiddlesticks on you? And then turn. Y'all know these snowblowers, right? They pull the snow and they pshoo.
Right.
And he pointed that snow at his. Hey, man. Anyway, I thought it was funny. And I thought that fella's a nincompoop. Actually, the nincompoops in my story are the Sault Ste. Marie Police Department. Because if you can't show me a bruise, if you can't show me an injury, you just got hit by some snow, I'm not arresting anybody for assault. But apparently they did.
That's a lot of paperwork for nothing.
Which is odd because, you know, the weird part about this story is if the old man's sidewalks had been assaulted, he wouldn't have had to use the snowblower.
That's right. That's right.
Yes, that's funny. See, assaulted. That joke works like 4 different ways.
Also, I remember I won on Friday. I had Frosty the Snowman having a bunch of different families.
That's right.
You remember that now? Remember?
Oh, that's right, because I made snowball jokes.
Yeah.
At your story. Go ahead, Jackson.
All right. Sitting in Popeyes the entire time. Man caused car crashes in multiple counties while high on Xanax, then went for some fried chicken, police say. A Georgia man is facing charges after causing a series of car crashes through multiple counties while high on Xanax before he stopped at Popeyes to sit down and watch the chaos unfold, Peach State law enforcement say. James Mann, 53, stands accused of multiple counts, including driving under the influence, hit and run, reckless driving, and driving on the wrong side of the road, according to the Duluth Police Department. The incident ended in a parking lot outside of Popeyes on Pleasant Hill Road in Duluth, a medium-sized suburb roughly 30 miles northeast of Atlanta and part of the broader metro area. Before that, however, the Volvo barreled into cars in both Fulton and Gwinnett counties, according to authorities. On Wednesday, the alleged impaired driving spree began in Johns Creek, police told Atlanta-based NBC affiliate WSB-TV. There, the same beige Volvo allegedly struck several cars and then drove into nearby Duluth, hitting other drivers along the way. Around 4:45 p.m. that day, police in Duluth received a call about a car driving on the wrong side of the road in Pleasant Hill, according to another report. At one time, the wayward Volvo shot over the median. By the time officers arrived, however, the driver was gone, but 3 other drivers remained at the scene. Police said one said their car had been hit, another said their car had been clipped, and a third said they had to make a last-second maneuver to avoid a head-on collision. There on the road, officers found the smashed-up Volvo. The car had finally given out after its series of collisions with other drivers, coming to rest after cresting the edge of a landscape median in front of the Popeyes. Witnesses soon pointed police to the allegedly errant motorist. He was sitting in Popeyes the entire time, a Duluth police officer said. In body-worn camera footage obtained by the local television station, he was literally sitting at that table watching all of us. Eventually, man walked outside. Then law enforcement called him over and took him into custody. The footage shows police say the defendant had droopy eyes and spoke with a slurred voice, but there was no hint or smell of alcohol. Rather, a search of the Volvo turned up a prescription bottle for 120 Xanax pills that had been filed earlier that same day. 7 pills were unaccounted for, according to law enforcement.
Wow.
Later, a member of the police department trained in drug recognition said the defendant seemed to be under the influence of a central nervous system depressant, which includes Xanax. He was taken to a nearby hospital where he was checked for drug and alcohol use and cited for the violations.
I love Popeye's chicken.
Boy. That's some good stuff.
I'm more of a Bojangles man myself.
What? There is no way you just said that with your mouth.
I did.
We should bring in Bojangles and bring in Popeyes and do a blind taste test.
Let's do that.
Maybe I'm more of a Bojangles guy because of the accoutrement. You ever had a Bowberry biscuit?
Red bean and rice.
You ever had a Bowberry biscuit?
Accoutrement. I have not.
Oh.
I hear they're good.
Oh, so good. It's a blueberry biscuit, Ken.
I'll take that.
It's blueberry. By the way, before I get too far away from it, I just have to clean something up. I apparently was mispronouncing the name of the town in Ontario, and I've been told this by several different people that it's Sault Ste. Marie, not Sault Ste. Marie.
Disrespecting the Canadians, eh?
It was Sault, but that's pronounced Sue.
What are you, a hoser?
Okay, whatever. I mean, look, if y'all want proper pronunciations of Canadian towns, y'all, Chris Hand shows 9 to noon. Super Talk 98.
Couldn't hit the broadside of a moose, eh?
Hey. Popeyes versus Bojangles would be a good show for the holidays. Now, that's not the best chicken that exists. The best chicken that exists is at Publix. And
that's pretty good chicken.
I don't know what to tell you, but Ken Weaver, what's your nincompoop?
A South African preacher named Christ Penelope made headlines for a controversial healing ritual that involves sitting on congregants' faces and farting on them.
Okay, Ken wins.
Ken just won.
Yeah.
He claims this action is a demonstration of God's power meant to provide spiritual and physical healing.
Son, that's God's power on you right now.
Pastor Penelope of the Sevenfold Holy Spirit Ministries in the Limpopo province of South Africa defends the practice, stating that the release of air near a person's nose allows the healing power to enter their body. He compares the act to a biblical event, referencing the story of God putting Adam into a deep sleep, and insists that his followers enter a similar deep sleep during the ritual and do not feel anything. Despite widespread criticism and accusations of disgraceful actions by farting in his congregant's face, the pastor has maintained that he does not fart on people, but rather heals them.
Are you saying this guy says he has magic farts?
I don't.
Reports indicate that some followers wait for months for their chance to receive this specific ritual.
So there's a wait list. There's a fart list?
What happens if he can't produce?
He just makes sure to eat some beans for breakfast.
I mean, seriously, what happens if he can't? I mean, I guess
that's why they're waiting months, Matt. You spread these out.
I guess it's
you think he's got a good one holding in. He's I got to wait for service.
It is not the Lord's will that you be farted upon.
Anyway, I checked to make sure that story is legit, and apparently it's legit.
I mean, that'll get you pink eye.
That's the holy pink eye, Matt.
The Holy Spirit on you. Oh, the Lord, the Lord has showered you not with just a...
So the nincompoop here, it's got to be his congregation. No.
That dude is the nincompoop. The Lord has especially blessed you, for I now have to change my shorts. There's no There's no way that Jackson hit the music. There's no way we're winning anything. I default to Ken Weaver. I just had a story about a guy doing a snowblower. Let's
went over like a fart in church.
The old 50 couple of beers and some hard boiled eggs, and this preacher's off and running. We're gonna have some church today. We're gonna have some church today.
We're doing church.
I've had eggs all morning. Y'all gonna get the Lord today.
You're gonna feel the wrath.
I don't think it was Popo, Ken. I think it was Poo Poo. Poo Poo, South Africa. Of course, I mispronounced. Now I'm being told that this town isn't even in Canada. It's in Michigan. It's in Ontario. That's how we do it. Come on, Super Talk 997 WTN. Alpha and Omega, they're not new to the industry involved in computer consultations. As a matter of fact, Alpha and Omega was started in 1998. They've been around a minute or two. They have seen the changes, the evolving threats with regard to compliance for all of your computing needs within your industry. They understand business continuity. They understand how to run a fast local help desk. Local, underline that. You don't talk to somebody overseas. You don't talk to an AI chatbot. You talk to someone right here in Middle Tennessee when you talk to Alpha and Omega. And as a business owner, you need protection on your side. You need Alpha and Omega, the professionals when it comes to computer consultation, all things IT. So if your IT contract's running up in 2026, you need to call Michael and his team. Allow them to come in and show you the A&O difference. Go to ANO.net. That's A&O.net. Or call 615-784-0096. 784-0096. Call our friends at Alpha and Omega.
I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Full forecast and traffic in 5 minutes. And in Charlotte, North Carolina, police say they've arrested an illegal immigrant in a violent attack on the city's light rail. Officers say twice deported Oscar Solazarno stabbed a passenger after a disturbance Friday. The victim, Kenyon Doby, suffered a lung injury but is recovering. Solazarno faces 5 charges, including attempted murder and assault with a deadly weapon. You'll remember in August, Ukrainian refugee Irina Zarutska was fatally stabbed on this same line. President Trump just announced an aid package for American farmers. Here's U.S. Secretary of Agriculture Brooke Rollins.
Today, we are going to be effectuating an $11 billion bridge payment to our farmers. The money will move by February 28th of 2026.
$11 billion goes to all row crop producers like soybean and corn, and another $1 billion to other farmers, and applications are open now. Health officials are warning Williamson and Murray County residents here in Middle Tennessee about a rise in histoplasmosis cases. The illness is caused by inhaling fungal spores, often during construction or land clearing. We're talking about like bird and bat droppings in the soil. It can lead to serious lung infections, especially in those with weakened immune systems, and doctors recommend prompt testing for anyone with unexplained respiratory symptoms. And a Murfreesboro nurse is behind bars after police say he assaulted a patient while on duty. 25-year-old Tyler Butcher arrested Friday. He's charged with sexual battery, kidnapping, and other offenses. The incident reportedly happening at Ascension St. Thomas Rutherford Hospital. Butcher was put into custody on a $14,000 bond. His next court appearance is in February. And there's a hostile takeover bid impacting your entertainment choices. Paramount taking on Netflix in its bid to buy Warner Brothers says it can make a better offer. But Warner Brothers, for now, standing behind the Netflix deal. Here's Alex Stone.
In quite the Hollywood bidding war, Paramount is saying not so fast to Netflix's almost $28 a share deal to buy Warner Brothers, saying it will do $30 a share, but its deal would also include HBO Max, CNN, and film production that Netflix would not take in its offer. Paramount CEO David Ellison saying his company never got a response to its offer last week. They claim they have the superior deal and should win Warner Brothers. Today, Warner Brothers board saying it has a new offer from Paramount, but it's still recommending shareholders approve the Netflix deal. Alex Stone, ABC News, Los Angeles.
That's the latest news. Traffic and weather next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News. Cedar Hill, Robertson County, 24 westbound is closed due to a crash between Maxey Road, exit 19, and MLK Parkway, exit 11. B&A, a crash blocking the left lane, 40 eastbound at Briley Parkway, exit 215. Metro Center, right shoulder blocked by a crash, 65 northbound past Rosa Parks Boulevard. Berry Hill, a crash, on-ramp blocked, 65 northbound from Armory Drive. And Madison got a crash, Briley Parkway eastbound at 65. Hermitage, 40 eastbound on-ramp from Stewart's Ferry Pike. Sylvan Park, I-40 westbound past Whitebridge Pike, Briley Parkway west, exit 204. I'm Ken Weaver.
A quick update. It's the most important thing we're talking about in the Matt Murphy Show today. There's a Sault Ste. Marie in both Canada and Michigan. We've just established this. They're right across the, street from one another, river, lake.
Are there moose?
I suppose that there are. There's a lot of snow up there, and at least I'm pronouncing the start of the damn thing correctly. It's Sault Ste. Marie. Not spelled that way. Spelled salt, but they pronounce it Sioux. I don't know why. Once again, ask Hand about all this Canadian stuff. I don't know. He knows. He's from up that way. It's my understanding. And some say Boston, some say Canada. Who knows? It's a mystery.
Same thing.
It's the same thing, really. 615-737-9986 if you'd like to be a part of the show. Jackson, it's official, and it's not even close. Weaver wins.
Yeah, not surprising.
I mean, we got a preacher pooting in people's faces and claiming it's a part of the Lord's work, then you're going to win Nincompoops in the News. I mean, it's called Nincompoops in the News, for goodness sake.
Yeah, and the name of the town is Limpopo, but it's probably Limpopo.
We're going to go with Limpopo.
Limpopo.
Hello. I'm the Reverend of Limpopo.
How may I help you, son?
Would you bend over? Thank you.
Is there a stepladder involved?
I would think there's...
Are they putting their nose up to the...
No, you got to kneel.
No, he sits on them. He sits on them.
So he's not a large fella.
No, he's skinny fella. He's skinny preacher.
It's a bony butt.
Well, thank goodness for that. Small favor. This is the type of... You don't get this anywhere else, folks. You think Dan Mandis is talking this way? No, I don't think so.
This is hard-hitting.
This is hard-hitting news right here with the poots and the preachers. 615-737-9986. I told you that we're going to be hard-pressed to talk about serious matters, but we're going to try to get back to it. Federal AI regulation may be coming. I got that story on the docket for the last hour. And I still have some immigration stories to tell you about. But first, Tony's been holding for some time. John, you too. Hey, Tony, how are you?
You guys are crazy today.
Man.
I'm loving this.
It's insane.
I'm telling you, everything from father flatulence to... It's just too good, y'all. Too good.
Father Flatulence.
Hi, I'm Father Flatulence. This is my colleague, Pastor Poots.
What about Reverend Rippet?
Reverend.
And then somebody said something about he's going to spread them around. I about fell over. You guys are killing me.
That's good.
Hey, first thing first, kind of serious note. Today, 45 years ago, I was on KHOO in Waco, Texas, and read the rip and read that John Lennon was killed.
Oh, that's right. It is the anniversary of his death.
45 years ago. 10 years later, Rickenbacker guitars came out with a signature model, and I bought one. It was delivered to me on what should have been his 50th birthday. Well, I ordered it on his 50th birthday, and it was delivered to me on 10 years after December 8th. And that guitar has never been played, and it never will be played. Its silence is my tribute to the silence of a madman.
Yeah.
And yeah. Anyhow, wanted to tell you, or I wanted to ask you, we talk about the national debt. Everything's national debt. When I owe a debt, I write a check to somebody. Who is it that we owe this money to?
We owe it to ourselves, essentially. We overextend by rolling over Treasury bonds.
Okay.
And we regularly have to pay off those Treasury bonds, and we let new Treasury bonds. So they're constantly rolling over.
So we're writing hot checks to ourselves.
Yes, essentially. Or other countries will buy the Treasury bonds, or businesses. Treasury bonds are good business because of the good faith and credit of the United States. There's plenty of people that are willing to buy them.
So the world is not on a gold standard anymore. We're on a credit standard.
You got it, brother. Fiat money it's not going to work either. By the way, it's just not.
Maybe we can get the farting friar to go into Fort Knox and do a little magic.
I saw an interesting thing on Fort Knox. Do you know that there's only been 2 visits to Fort Knox, Tony, in its existence from outside people? And
really?
one of them happened in the 1970s because people were convinced that there was no gold there. And so during the Nixon administration, and then in 2017, I think it was Steve Mnuchin, the Treasury Secretary, went in because Trump was getting a lot of, hey, this gold isn't real. And so Mnuchin went in there and confirmed that the gold was still there, too.
Wow. Okay. So how much?
Well,
not enough to cover all these hot checks.
No, hell no. Although the claim is if they reset that money is set at like 1974 prices or whatever, and if we reset it and recalibrated it to the 2025 standard of, I think it's like $4,000 an ounce, that it would, then we could then utilize that money to cover our debts. Not that we would want to, because then we wouldn't have any gold.
Yeah, we'd have to pay that gold to ourselves.
Right. or well, not necessarily ourselves, to the Treasury bond holders, which can be
confused.
Japan. So Japan holds some of. I think Japan is the largest bondholder of other nations. China has some of it. Japan has more of it. And I heard where Japan was dumping Treasury bills too, which. I don't know if that's true or not, but one way or the other,
I'm in over my head now for sure.
Well, me too. I think I've gotten to the arena where I'm just making stuff up.
Watch him, Weaver. Don't let him pull that on you.
No, he's my monitor. He's my hall monitor in there. He won't let me pass if I start making this stuff up. Tony, thank you for the call. Yeah, so it's Treasury bond, and they're constantly rolling over. Right, they're constantly rolling over. But the national debt is, 38 trillion, somewhere along those lines. John might have some thoughts on it. Hey, John.
Hey, Mr. Murphy, how you doing, sir?
Man, I'm great. I hope you are.
I'm doing great. I just want you to know that Ken Weaver definitely beat you with the Duke of Dookie.
The Duke of Dookie.
So I got a couple other things to talk about. They kind of going along with Dan this morning about what he was talking about the brotherhood, everything like that. So, the brotherhood. So, I am Alge, scary name, said that they would destroy America from the inside out.
Mm-hmm.
And if you look at it now, that's pretty much what the Democrat Party is doing. They are trying to destroy America from the inside out, but they don't realize what that means. They do not realize that they throw people off of buildings. They don't even want to spend a bullet on people. They'll just toss you off a building.
Yeah, I admit, John, that I have a macabre sense of humor, but one of the more hilarious aspects of the last couple of years, the politics of the last couple of years, would be the LGBT community coming out in favor of Hamas.
Exactly.
Like you understand that if you came out as gay in these countries where Hamas runs roughshod, they wouldn't ask any questions. They would kill you.
They wouldn't even waste the money on a bullet.
They would throw you off a building. Right.
Yep. They wouldn't even waste the money. It's the detriment of America is what they want. The Ilhan Omars, the Ossia Cortezes, they want us to be destroyed. I don't see how these people even will vote that way, how they even think that way. Now, hey, man, it's all cool. I used to not even want to be around gay people, you know it, but now I'm accepting of them. But the fact that they vote that way, the people that they want to protect want the death of them. That's the part that I don't understand. It's the, and also something I don't understand, sir, is I know you talked about this the other day. I listen to you every day. You talked about this the other day about the smugglers. You know, we call them a terrorist organization, the drug smugglers that are coming from South America.
Mm-hmm.
They're trying to smuggle drugs. They're trying to do the best for their family. What we are doing by killing their parents is we are making terrorists. We are making terrorists because we killed their dad. What are they going to do when they grow up? You know what I mean? Do you have any insight on that? I'm going to shut up and I'm going to listen to you. Do you have any insight on that? If we kill their parent when they're just trying to make money, you know, what do you think their kid is going to want to do to us? And I'm going to get off the phone. I'm going to listen to you, sir.
Yeah, okay, John. So it's a pseudo-terrorist organization, and I understand the terroristic designation of the drug cartels because the process and the thought process is that the actions that they are undertaking, that they know that these actions are going to lead to the death of Americans through overdose because of the narcotics that they're transporting from wherever they're coming from into the United States of America. But I have a difficult time thinking of them along the same lines as I think about traditional terrorism. Traditional terrorism or radical Islam or fanatical religious-based terrorism, primarily rooted in the Middle East and directed toward infidel nation. I mean, it comes from what some would call a normalization of Islam. Some would call a radicalization of Islam. I don't look at those groups the same way. I think that those individuals that are running drugs, while I understand the designation, I consider them different than the religious fanatics that want to blow themselves up to receive the ward of 72 virgins and, do so because of the infidel that they wish to subjugate, convert, or kill. Those are fanatics, and their fanaticism is based in a religious faith that I think is antithetical to the values and the concepts of the United States of America. We allow, despite recognizing that aspects of the faith that is it, I mean, this is my opinion on it. There are aspects of the Nation of Islam, or the faith of Islam, not the nation. That's more of a political organization, that are contrary to the values of our country. But our country believes in freedom so much that we allow people, so long as they do not do harm to other people, we allow people to exist in the country that have values that are contrary to the basic building blocks of the United States of America. I don't look at the drug cartels that way. The drug cartels are out to make a profit. They don't really care who they kill in doing so. And the cartels are obviously vicious people. They're murderers and they're killers. But I suppose that I can easily see why some people would say that rises to the level of terrorism. I don't look at it the same way as I look at Islamic terrorism or even political-based terrorism more broadly. They're out to earn a living, and they're doing so in a very hardened way, and they don't really care who they kill to get their money. In so much as your question is concerned, I don't care about their kids. I don't. I mean, if they radicalize themselves and want to do harm to the if they want to do harm to the United States of America, we'll have to kill them too. I do understand the concerns constitutionally regarding where we're going with the ability to randomly hit drug boats. I don't care about the people that are driving the drug boats. I just don't. Do not. Not one bit. You are in a line of work. I mean, let's be realistic here, people. You are in a line of work where you should expect to get killed at any moment. That's the line of work. You don't care who you kill with your drugs. You don't care who you kill to make a profit off your drugs. So I'm not going to care when you get killed. I do care about the Constitution. And I would like to see a level of resolution in the judicial system as to where the line is regarding what the executive branch can declare as a real imminent threat to the American people. Because that's what they're doing. And right now, that's fine because it's yet to be challenged. As that challenge moves forward in the court systems, I look forward to some clarification with regard to the judicial branch as to what is permissible and what is not. It is 22 after the hour. This is Super Talk 99.7 WTN. In the spirit of the holiday season, let's say it again. Do all the good you can by all the means you can and all the ways you can and all the places you can at all the times you can to all the people you can for as long as you can. That's the motto of owner Aaron Stokes at Eurofix. It's what he's tried to do for over a quarter century. And friends, Eurofix repairs European vehicles at below dealer pricing. They are set apart not just on the price front, but they also have a deep commitment to quality, keep you off the tow truck. They do so with a clean, welcoming shop where you can actually sit down. You get a free 15-minute no-wrench inspection. They're going to share what's going on with your vehicle. You can also you get a 3-year, 36,000-mile warranty with every repair appointment, and a rental car is available with every appointment as well. 5 locations: Nashville, Franklin, Murfreesboro, Belmead, and Mount Juliet. Call 844-EUROFIX, 844-EUROFIX, or visit online at myEuroFix.com. That's myEuroFix.com. Tell them Matt Murphy sent you to the one and only Eurofix. Hello, friends. Matt Murphy for USS. USS stands for United Structural Systems. United Structural Systems has your back, friends. If you're in a home and you're worried about waterproofing, if you're worried about the safety of your home, if you're worried about the foundation of your home, your worries can be put to rest. You can sleep better tonight thanks to USS, United Structural Systems. They are problem solvers. You get someone who is not worried about meeting a sales quota, certainly. Not worried about upselling you on anything. They are there to educate you and help you understand what's going on in your home, and they will fix it jiffy quick at the lowest possible price. Homeowners trust USS and have since 1994. The proof is in the pudding. Over 30,000 satisfied residential customers. Testimony after testimony that they are 100% satisfied, and I love that. Serving Middle Tennessee since 1994. Homeowners trust USS. They guarantee their best. Go to USSTN.com, USSTN.com, or online at USSTN.com, or on the phone, 615-488-7855, 488-7855 for USS. Yeah, I mean, I know Ken's got that story coming up, and Ken, I don't want to get in front of it, but this U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement lodged a detainer for an illegal alien charged with the stabbing of a man on the Charlotte light rail. This is obviously 4 months after the fatal stabbing of Irina Zarutska. She was that high-profile stabbing. Everybody was talking about it. Charlie Kirk got assassinated, and then we moved off the story a little bit. I mean, I understand how the news cycles go, but we have not forgotten about it. And this is yet another example. I mean, this is an illegal alien doing the stabbing in this case, allegedly at the hands 4 months after the stabbing happened at the hands of Oscar Gerardo Garcia, I guess, an illegal immigrant from Honduras who had twice been removed from the United States of America. The 33-year-old individual, Oscar Gerardo Solaranza, I can't pronounce his damn name, was accused of forcing his way onto the light rail car Friday and stabbing a male passenger with a large knife. He's now been charged with attempted first-degree murder. I mean, Ken's going to give you some of the details of that story. It's just brutal. Story's brutal. And Democrats consistently are defending this type of behavior because they're defending the policies that allow these people to stay here. Tell me I'm wrong. Fight me on this. It's ridiculous. Tough love. Get them out of here. I'm sorry that we don't know who the good people are and the bad people are anymore, but it's gotten blurred because the Biden administration allowed millions and millions and millions of people here illegally. We have to clean out the system. And then we can talk about rebuilding our immigration policies. As I've said many, many times, a 2-year moratorium on all immigration, all of it. And then we begin building back a process by which the individual companies and the others justify the immigration that they need for their companies to be better and to build on a solid foundation of understanding of exactly who's here. Frank is next up. Frank, what's up?
I just wanted to do a rebuttal, I guess, on that representative who talked about the tunnel the other day. Again, I can tell you what I think I know based off of what he said, if that makes sense.
Frank, here's what I'm going to do. But it sounds like you are ordering a number 4 from a drive-thru, and that's not your fault. I'm not faulting you for that. I love you, buddy, but I want everybody to be able to hear you and understand what you're saying. So I'm going to see if Jackson can't figure out how to do that while we do the news. We'll get your call. We'll get Eric and Jasper in here as well. And your calls, too. 615-737-9986. 615-737-9986. It's time for the news on Super Talk. Fellas, if you cannot answer the bell any longer and you want to, whether it's exercise at the gym, maybe it's intimacy in the bedroom, I understand that this can be life-changing, but I also understand that, man, it's 2025. It's not 1975 anymore, and it's time to make the change that you want to make. At the Tennessee Men's Clinic, they have the locations and they have the ability to help you, but they need to see you because you're obviously key in all of this, because they don't believe in cookie-cutter types of approaches when it comes to your health, particularly your sexual health. Tennessee Men's Clinic is urology-based. They are staffed with licensed providers who specialize in men's health. They use proven treatments to tailor to your specific situation. Most often, they see testosterone level loss, and that can lead to frustrations with intimacy, frustrations in bedroom activity. If this is you, no shame in this game, man. Let's get it solved, and let's get back in the game with the Tennessee Men's Clinic. And it'll only cost you for your initial consultation $99, a full medical consultation, blood work, and they'll figure out what's going on with you and give you a path of success. Let's go, fellas. 615-208-9090, 208-9090, or online at TennesseeMen'sClinic.com, TennesseeMen'sClinic.com. Super Talk 99.7 WTN. It is Matt Murphy and the Matt Murphy Radio Show. Tomorrow on the big show, man, Jackson, you got to get home quick.
Yup.
And tell everyone why that is.
I will be with Dan Vandis in Nashville's Morning News tomorrow.
What time are you? What time will you descend upon Nissan Stadium and the tent that will be available for us for Toy Field?
I'm thinking about just starting the tailgating for the Music City Bowl early.
I kind of like that idea.
22 days.
I mean, what else you got to do? How about this? You're getting there at 4 a.m. tomorrow morning?
4:30-ish.
4:30? Yeah, I hear that there's going to be breakfast provided. Save me some, would you?
By 3 o'clock?
Yeah.
No.
Okay, then. No. Thought you'd say that. So, yeah, Toy Field tomorrow. Starts bright and early. We're right beside Nissan Stadium. Hold on, I got to get all the details. Stand by. There we go. Here's some of the details. Nissan Stadium, officially One Titans Way, drop off at the South Plaza. Someone said, why are you giving toys to seniors? And I understand why you would think that based on the verbiage of the promo that I did. We're not giving toys to seniors. What we are saying is bring a new unwrapped toy for the children. It's the Salvation Army Angel Tree, so they'll have a happy Christmas morning. But they're also, if you choose to do so, you can buy a gift for a senior, and you can give the gift to a senior because they're also going to gather those gifts together and go to the nursing home facilities and other assisted living facilities where maybe older people do not have loved ones to come and see them during the holidays, and they want to do that. So tomorrow starts bright and early. I mean, Dan will be there at 5 a.m., but we'll be there all day. It says 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. on my sheet, but I think that's a little rough on Dan and myself, right? I mean, that's kind of rude. I mean, Dan will be there at 5. I'll be there till 7.
Well, Dan might already be there.
Yeah, that might be the case. Yes. Mm-hmm. I know that he's very excited about you being there, Jackson. He told me so.
It'll be fun.
Be nice to him. He's not like me. I'm a rough, unmolded, unshaped piece of clay. You can hit on me and beat me up and throw me against the wall, and I'm just a lump. Mandis is a delicate, delicate flower that could precious in our sight. But a wisp of wind could destroy all that is Nashville's morning news.
With great power comes great responsibility.
Correct.
I will let you down.
I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to the stories. I'm looking forward to you telling me, man, oh, man, I thought you were a diva. Those words will come out of your mouth tomorrow. You will say to me sometime around 2:40 and 5 in the p.m., man, Murphy, I thought you were a diva, and then I met Mandis.
And at 2:35, I will look at Matt and say, did you bring me a monster?
Oh, I'll bring you a monster.
Please, I'm going to need it.
All right, I got you. Frank is next up. Frank wants to talk about the tunnel. Frank, thank you for holding. How are you?
Not bad. Thanks for taking my call.
Frank, you sound so much better now. I love this so I can hear you well. Talk to me.
All right, so that representative was talking about how the entire tunnel is going to be waterproof because of the 1-inch space on the backside of the tunnel that's going to be filled with epoxy. So I just kind of have a lot of doubt, a couple of things on that. So that drill that's going to be, tunneling through, I doubt that thing is gentle. So I agree that the epoxy likely will be able to seal at least the portions of the tunnel they want to seal, but I doubt it's going to get as far enough to, close all the areas that were impacted by that drilling, meaning those cracks are probably going to go further, reach farther than just the immediate location of the tunnel. The second is, from what I know about most epoxy, it hardens. Well, that tunnel is going to continue to expand and contract over time from just weather and whatever, just the movement of the earth. So it's going to cause, cracks and breaks and piping on the backside of that tunnel. And that could cause the same issue where water is going to be going places it wasn't going before. And the representative said, well, we'll be able to hold the contractor accountable if something goes wrong. Maybe, except for it's all underground. And so it's going to be extremely difficult to have some sort of incident occur from something underground, from water maybe passing one place or another place, and being able to say definitively that the contractor caused this. And you got to know that contractor is going to be doing their very darndest to ensure that it's not put on him or her. Does that all make sense what I'm saying?
I mean, yeah, I understand what you're saying, yes.
So that was it. I also had another question, if you could take my question.
Well, I mean, no, I can take any questions you want. So the question that I don't pretend to have the knowledge that individuals above my pay grade have on this matter, right? But sure. I'm just trying to use a certain level of common sense. So even if we suggest that state officials aren't doing their due diligence, all right, and I might grant you that because I don't really have a lot of trust in government or politicians, although I'd say maybe more locally than I do nationally. But even if I told you that the state government and the engineers within state government, within the state DOT or whatever the managing agency is over the environmental concerns that exist about the tunneling, even if they have fallen asleep at the switch, why in the world, and I mean, and maybe it's just that they're dumb too, why in the world would the engineers that put together this technology, that is quite fascinating technology in it, I mean, what they were able to do in Las Vegas is pretty special. And I understand Las Vegas is very, very different than Nashville. But why would they do something like this if there was a significant percentage chance of structural failure when they're footing the entire nut? Let's say they don't care about the environmental concern. They would be out hundreds of millions of dollars.
Well, I'm not really suggesting structural failure. I think the tunnel will work, but I guess a lot of folks' concern is the water. I do think water is going to be more of a challenge than they think, so I think they can wash that out with the prices that they pay for people to use it.
So is the concern that this will cause pressure within the system elsewhere and that will create flood zones that don't currently exist?
I'm saying you have a greater chance of something happening akin to like the Corvette Museum. You know, you're
like sinkholes and whatnot,
flows and pathways and caverns and other here's and there's that could result in other failures that could impact people. Like I think I made the analogy last time is it's kind of like the fracking deal. So like when you bust holes in things, all of a sudden there's going to be new pressures, new flows that could cause some collateral here's and there's that could be upsetting some people's lives. Probably low on the percentage deal, but it's just a kind of a reality in the nature when it comes to construction and such, if that makes sense.
Well, and I would have to have faith, and perhaps this is my naivete, but I would have to have faith that their structural engineers are aware of the possibilities. What they have said publicly is that this project actually exposes them to less risk than the Las Vegas project did because of the topography.
It exposes their company to less risk because...
No, what I mean is less risk of tunnel failure. And by the way, any sinkhole whatsoever in the project would be total tunnel failure. In other words, Frank, regardless of whether the tunnel still worked, if there was a sinkhole that caused property damage away from the tunnel is immediately shut down. You understand that, right?
No, I do understand, but I'm saying what the argument I'm making is the tunnel, the sinkhole that would occur would likely not occur at the time of construction.
Once again, what I'm telling you is, and you could be right. You could be right, and they could be wrong. But from a public relations standpoint, if this tunnel is responsible for any sort of sinkhole, I would suggest to you that immediately the tunnel project, either if it's in construction phase or if it's in going, they would shut it down.
How would you prove it?
It would cease to, what, a sinkhole?
No, well, yeah, a sinkhole that's directly caused by the tunnel. It's all underground.
If any sinkhole happens in any shape or form anywhere near this project or anywhere in Middle Tennessee, the tunnel will be blamed. 100%. I mean, when's the last time we had a sinkhole?
Well, I got the Corvette Museum. There's active sinkholes up there in Fort Campbell all the time. There's sinkholes around the Corps of Engineer dams.
You know who got blamed on the Corvette Museum sinkhole?
I don't.
The Corvette Museum.
No, I mean it's. Yeah,
well, that's the reality. They blame because they said that they should have done their due diligence before they built a Corvette Museum on top of the possibility of a sinkhole.
I guess in the end, I'm not trying to say this is going to be an absolute failure. I'm just saying a lot of the stuff that I heard from that representative, I'm like, that's an easy thing to say. It's a lot more complicated than that. I think that's all I'm really trying to say.
Oh, no. I mean, Frank, I agree with you 100% that this is a very complex issue. And I don't want anybody to think that I have any learned understanding about the engineering that goes on this, right? I don't. What I do understand is money. And I understand that if a company is willing to put somewhere in the neighborhood of $150 to $200 million of its own money in a project, expecting to recoup that money based on the success of the project, right? In a money-making operation, a money-motivated operation like the Boring Company, and under Elon Musk's tutelage, I would expect that they, in concert with the state, are doing their engineering due diligence to make sure that it is not a real and present danger to the safety of the people affected.
I don't have as much faith as you do. I think, an easy example of that is the big BP oil rig mega spill. That's engineers, all kinds of involvement in that. So, yes, I don't think that's absolutely
the BP spill was not nearly the ecological disaster that environmentalist people suggested that it would have been. The Gulf of Mexico, but the benefit outweighs the risk, man. 100% the benefit. 100% it does. Otherwise,
I'm not arguing.
Right? The benefit completely outweighs the risk. Now, maybe you could argue that the benefit here doesn't outweigh the risk.
And I'm not even arguing. I'm just telling you these are some realities that I think that representative has not wrapped their head around.
And by the way, it was discovered because I was down in Alabama during the time, so I'm intimately familiar with the BP example. And and BP was completely at fault for not doing their due diligence in terms of safety and regulation in that spill.
And that's fine. And so let's say that's the case in this instance. But when in the course of human events, whenever something goes wrong in terms of like a car wreck or something goes wrong with your house and insurance gets involved, when does everyone walk away and say, wow, I really am glad that insurance took care of me on this? That was a great
Well, no, I understand that people, you can't make people whole. We can't reverse time, but BP paid out billions of dollars after the oil spill. Billions.
No, I know. I hope that's not what we're aiming for.
No, but what I'm saying with any innovation comes risk. If you want to wait for a time where there is a 0% chance of failure and there's a 100% chance of success, then we're not going to innovate anymore.
The purpose of my rebuttal is not to say stop the tunnel right now. It's just to say, look, there are some things that could still go wrong with this. I think
100%
is going to come out on top, but that's it.
Frank, we can leave this conversation, Frank. I don't want to come off as enemy to you. I appreciate the discussion. And if anybody thinks that I'm suggesting there's no risk here, no, that's not true. What I am suggesting is that the mitigated risk is worth the benefit of the innovation.
No, I won't argue with that. Again, this is just to do my best to educate folks. There's a lot going on there, and in the end, we have to remember that every business is in the business of making money. And so does that mean part of it is making sure everything works perfectly, but part of it is that's good enough, let's keep moving. So I think that's kind of what I'm driving at, and everybody's under the gun, everybody's up against a deadline, and if it gets a stamp on the piece of paper, it's close enough, and we'll figure it out during construction. There's just a reality we have to face there, and with that comes some risk. Hope that makes sense. And I do have one very last important request I would like to throw your way if you're amenable.
Yeah, let's do it.
I think it'd be very important and great if you could play Robert Earl Keen's "Swerving in My Lane" whenever traffic is bad in Nashville. I think that'd be a great thing for us.
Well, look, as a huge Robert Earl Keen fan, Frank, you're talking my language, brother.
There we go. Let's do it.
I'm in on that. So, Swerving in My Lane, Robert Earl Keen. I absolutely love the idea. Thank you, Frank, for the telephone call. And I see you guys, and I know that there are tunnel naysayers, and I understand that there are, and everybody's saying, oh, this project's dangerous for Nashville. Traffic's dangerous for Nashville. Fossil fuel consumption, that's dangerous for the human condition. There's a lot of dangers that we're willing to accept, and there are some that would suggest that any benefit is not worth what they perceive as the risk. I understand that. I understand where you're coming from with that. Those that we have elected and empowered to make these types of coordinated decisions with the private sector have determined that this, in fact, is. If they're wrong, they'll get their asses booted out of office. But if your consideration is we must make sure that no damage is done, there's zero risk factor involved in any of this, then you're not going to have any innovation whatsoever. And I don't think that's what we want either. I get it. Some people aren't into it. I'm into it. And I'm excited about it. We'll try to get to Eric and Lee if we are able. It's 53 after the hour on Super Talk. Hi, friends. The Wellness Institute of Nashville is right here in our community, ready to serve. Dr. Mitchell, Dr. Ashley, and the rest of the team, they're there for you. They say happy holidays and Merry Christmas to you and your family, and they continue to offer you the Big Daddy Trump special. $12 for a full examination, x-rays if needed, a well-explained diagnosis, and your first treatment. 615-246-5009. 615-246-5009 is the telephone number. The website is painisbad.com. Here's the deal. I made the switch to Dr. Mitch because they're so good at what they do. Back pain, neck pain, knee pain. I mean, I had some of this stuff going on in my life. Look, you know I had surgery on my shoulder this year, right? Now, my shoulder surgery was a wild success, but I would not have done that had I been able to repair the issue through Dr. Mitchell and Dr. Ashley. It was something that had to be done. But my back issues, oh my goodness, spinal decompression is such a lifesaver when it comes to back issues, and you can be the next recipient of these life-saving techniques. Call Dr. Ashley, Dr. Mitchell, and the rest of the team at the Wellness Institute of Nashville, or go online to painisbad.com. That's painisbad.com.
Hey, this is Pastor Al, and join us on Super Talk 99.7, Sunday evenings from 7 to 8. We're going to look at the news from a biblical perspective.
Selling your home can be stressful, but it doesn't have to be. Get a guaranteed offer from Mark Spain Real Estate. There are no showings, no open houses, no stress. Work with the #1 real estate team in the U.S. and close with confidence. Go to markspain.com today.
That's going to wind it down for the Matt Murphy Show this edition. I've enjoyed this Monday. I hope you have as well. Tomorrow, big time, Toy Field, Nissan Stadium, all day long. Dan Mandis will be there. Chris Hand will be there. Chad Benson will be there. Matt Murphy will be there. Jackson will be there all day. And we expect you to be there with a new unwrapped toy. We'll see you tomorrow, friends. Mark Levin is up next. Until next time, hug your loved ones. So long, everybody.